What is going on? I'm Nick. Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet where you can learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. Today, we are going to be talking about how to get more views and subscribers on your YouTube channel. We're going to be doing that through answering your YouTube questions. So I have a form down in the description below. It's free. I have a form down in the description below where you can go down and you can put your questions in that form. And in the order that they come in, that is how we're actually answering the questions here on the stream today. So first off, I just want to say that I'm happy to be here today. Happy to be hanging out. Happy to be hanging out with content creators, with other people that are out there in the grind when it comes to, YouTube and doing all this YouTube stuff. So awesome to have you hanging out here today as well as a fellow content creator. I also want to say that today I'm going to be having a special guest on, possibly more than one, but I'm going to be having my brother D join us right here in just a little bit. I'm going to be sending him a link here on Facebook, and he's going to be coming in shortly as well. So if you're a mobile content creator, you definitely want to get your questions in the forum as well, because D, I got a link to his channel down in the description below, but D, he actually has an entire channel teaching you how to master your mobile so that you can make content with it, so that you can get results here on YouTube just using your mobile device, if that's your approach. Whoa, looks like I just buffered there for a second. So really quick, I just want to give a couple of shout outs here in the chat. I just want to say what's up to Sweeney Dunstan. What's up, man? Nice to see you in here. I want to say what is going on to Tinkerman Mick, Mike's Auto Detailing. What is going on? Pre-made Chick Snug. What is going on? Behind Health. What's up? Nice to see you in here. Nurse Flipper. Everybody that's hanging out in the chat today. Awesome to be hanging out with you, and make sure again that you get your questions that you want answered, that you get them down in the form that is down in the description below. I'm going to resize my window here really quick so we can get this party started, and then I'm going to go down into the forum, start knocking out some questions for you. But before we do that, I do want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators specifically. So if you're making videos for YouTube, this tool was made for you as a YouTube content creator. Chef Jelly, what's going on? But this tool was made for you as a content creator, and you can try it for free down in the description below. There's no expiry on it or anything like that, but just the features are, limited compared to what it is that you get for, when you actually pay for it. But as a content creator, you're definitely going to want to upgrade once you give it a shot and you see, how it can benefit you and your YouTube channel. But it helps you with video ideas and getting your videos ready for discovery and that sort of thing as well, even doing bulk updates and things of that nature as well. So if you're a content creator, you definitely want to use TubeBuddy. And I'm going to go ahead and just hide that user on the channel real quick. Boom, because that's how we roll here. And all right, Eric, wait, what's up, dude? Nice to see you. If your chat's not working, just go ahead and refresh it, especially if you've been hanging out in the chat here for a little bit. Just go ahead and refresh it, and then it should start working for you. Just refresh the page, and then you should be good to go. Also, if you are on Twitter, if you have a Twitter account and you are in the community, drop this out on Twitter, let people know, share it out, let people know that we are live so we can have more people come in, get their YouTube questions answered, help them, get all this knowledge and all that good stuff as well that we're going to be sharing today as I answer your YouTube questions. So now that all that's out of the way, what's going on? All right, so the very first thing that we are going to do is I'm just going to pull some random questions right out of the chat before we get into the form here, because I'm still letting the queue get built up there a little bit. So I'm just going to grab some random questions here directly out of the chat before we actually get into the YouTube questions today. Tomorrow Gaming, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. If you were asking me, I don't know, you might have been asking somebody else in the chat, I'm not sure, but I just saw how are you, and I'm answering that question. Let's see here. So the interactive learning says, hey, I love your channel. I have a question. I've started using TubeBuddy to maximize my chances in getting more availability, but I'm not sure why I seem to not have much luck so far. Any idea? Absolutely. So when it comes to using TubeBuddy or any other tool that you might happen to use for your YouTube channel, it also, you still have to make content that people respond to. So what TubeBuddy is going to help you with is it's going to help you actually be able to identify opportunities for things that you should make content about. However, using TubeBuddy by default result doesn't make your videos get a response. So you still have to play by the same rules that everybody on YouTube has to play by, which is you have to get people to click on your thumbnails. You have to get people to watch your videos for a satisfactory amount of time, and then get them to further engage and hopefully keep coming back to the channel on a regular basis. So that is why. So if you are using it, you want to use it at the planning stage. And then if you're not getting that result, then you might want to go into their A/B testing feature, which is what allows you to test your thumbnails against each other and see if maybe your click-through rate could be improved. Look at your audience retention and say, hey, how are people actually responding to my videos once they come in to the video content? Are they watching them for, 50% of the video? They watching them for 75% of the video? Am I getting 4 minutes of watch time, 5 minutes of watch time, 10 minutes of watch time? What's actually happening in the video content? Because at the end of the day, like what you really have to, everybody that's watching this, at the end of the day, the thing that you have to make sure that you're doing is you got to get people to click, right? Because that's that first point of contact with a new viewer on your YouTube channel. So you got to make sure that you are able to get people to click on your title and your thumbnail. And titles and thumbnails, just as a heads up, titles and thumbnails work together as a package. So you have to make sure that you're able to get people to click your package, so to speak, and then come in and watch your video. D Nimmin in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you. I will be dropping the link right here in a second. Doug Hoosen, what's up, dude? Nice to see you hanging out in the chat as well. Tech Master, what is up? Tech Master saying, hey, what mic are you using and do you recommend it? This is a Shure SM7B. I like it. I think it sounds, it's a good mix with my voice, I believe. And I actually have this running through a Rode Procaster for processing. So in addition to the microphone, I have some like noise gating going on. I have some compression going on, that kind of stuff to make the voice sound a little bit better. Cause normally I sound like a mouse, but when I, use a microphone and I run it through processing or post-processing for the videos, then I sound like a human instead of a mouse. So normally it's something like this if I turn off the processing. So here, I'll actually turn off the processing and let's see what happens. What is going on? I'm Nick. Welcome to another video. Let me turn that back on real quick. There we go. So now you can see the difference in the processing. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That's not really, it's not really what I sound like. Karma, what's up, man? Nice to see you hanging out here as well. Super chat. Aston Regis, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. He said, thanks for your help on Roberto's stream last week. Took your advice and changed some of my thumbnails. Also filmed 31 videos in the last 3 days. Holy cow. You know what, man? I've had productive days, when it comes to, making videos and just making content. I've had productive days, but never have I ever in my whole entire YouTube thing, have I ever made 31 videos in 3 days. Yeah, that's crazy, man. High five and fist bump to you for that, man. Well done. Holy cow. Tinkerman Mick, super chat. Thank you for the super chat as well. I appreciate it. Tinkerman Nick says, hey, your streams and videos have given me direction when I had no idea what I was doing or if I'm feeling lost or demotivated as a creator. Thanks for doing what you do for all of us, mate. My pleasure, man. I'm glad you are enjoying the content. I'm glad that you are getting value, out of what it is that we are, what it is that we're doing here. Super chat. Oliver, what is going on, man? Thank you for your super chat as well. And hello, Oliver. All right, let me hit this invite button real quick, copy to clipboard. Okay, so what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna answer one question here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drop this link into the Facebook group so anybody that wants to come in can come in. Not everybody in the chat, but I mean, like I have like a group that I put together in Facebook for the people that talk about YouTube all the time, and I drop it in there so they can come in and answer your YouTube questions as well. So they're qualified, so to speak. Okay, so the very first question that we have is from Leanne Menzies. And they say that they make tutorial content. The goal is to make people happy and help people. Awesome goal. And the question is, on my channel, I go to the About section and there's a tab called Membership. When I click it, it takes me to the Home tab and it disappears. It can only be seen on the About section. Do you know why? So either you have the ability to set up your memberships and they are not set up, which you can check that in your Creator Studio on the back end, or it's just a glitch to where that option's there and it just hasn't actually been turned on for your channel yet, and you just happen to be seeing that. So I'm going to answer one more and then we will get this in there. Super chat. Oliver says, hey, thanks for teaching me how to grow my YouTube channel. My pleasure, Oliver. Also, I'm glad that you are getting, getting value out of the content here. Modern Day Tech, what's up, dude? Good morning. Nice to see you. Welcome to Saturday. Welcome to another Saturday. Okay, so the next question that we have on the list is from Jen Kokoska Yoga. And they say they have a yoga channel. The goal of the channel is to provide quality yoga for the students we serve, those with chronic pain, anxiety, and depression, and in the long term to build a successful online business and generate sustainable income. You'll definitely want to sign up for my course when that comes out. The question is, what are some other strategies / ideas you would suggest to make a yoga class on YouTube engaging to ensure steady retention and maintained and watch time? Retention is maintained and watch time increases. So what you need to make sure that you're doing, and there's a lot of additional information here, but for the sake of the chat and keeping everything moving, I'm going to just answer that. And the thing on making your channel engaging if you are in yoga, because I see here that you're talking about the 7 million subscriber channel. She provides yoga for everyone. We're niching down instead. Our target audience are those people who have chronic pain, anxiety, and depression. So what I recommend that you do in your situation, one, is make it crystal clear in your messaging that is who you are targeting. So when you're writing titles, make sure that you're targeting those people in your titles or in your thumbnails so that those people that are dealing with those things can identify right out of the gate that your content is for them. Another thing that I would do in your particular situation is I would also, and this isn't part of what you asked, but I'm just letting you know, since you are targeting that specific group of people that might have some type of special way that they need to approach yoga, I would also make sure that you are asking them to share your content with other people that they might know who might be in a similar situation in whatever groups they happen to be a part of or whatever, for the sake of trying to get that additional exposure and making sure that you're also, getting in front of the people that you're actually trying to help. Okay. Now, in addition to that, when it comes to making it engaging, one thing that you have to think about is people are coming to you not to be entertained per se. They're coming to you because they want to, be able to do yoga, even though they have some type of chronic pain. Like me, for example, I might even, like your content might be a good fit for me because I have like a back problem. And because of that, like a disc thing. And because of that, like yoga is a difficult thing, in some situations for me. So if I was interested in yoga and wanted to do it, then, that might be a good resource for me. But as somebody that might watch that type of content, or for the people that will watch that type of content, just create a good viewer experience for them. Use your audience retention to see where it is that people are leaving. So a couple things to think about is if other channels that are doing yoga are using like multiple cameras and things like that, do something similar, because they're either doing that to increase the production value, or they're doing that because they have discovered after a period of testing and a period of time that they that is something that works for them to hold retention. If they introduce, when the thing starts, if they introduce it and they just have a really quick blurb about, hey, today we're going to be doing this, and I know a lot of people have problems with their back as an example, and because of that, we are going to be specifically targeting yoga that will help you strengthen your back without actually damaging your back, that kind of thing. And then you actually get into the exercise itself. Another thing that's super important when it comes to retention, make sure that your audio is good and solid and nice and present in the video. And also try to have decent quality in your videos as well, because on YouTube, you have to be able to compete with the other people in the space. And I know that there are some amazing yoga channels like Sarah Beth, for example. I talked to her a bit at Vid Summit, and like I've checked out her channel. We both do some stuff with Uscreen, and like her channel, it's just like super high end, right? So you got to make sure that you're competing. You don't have to get like all the best stuff, but just make sure that you are at an acceptable level when it comes to the experience that people are getting from your content.
Super chat.
Christina Smallhorn says, thank you for the super chat. Christina says, thank you for all you do, Nick. I'm pretty excited today. I just got to 30,000 subs. High five and fist bump to you. Well done. Nice work, Christina. I love seeing that. And also, high five to you, and high five to, to the information that you've taken and applied to your channel. I know you've went through Daryl's thing also, and you got some amazing information out of Daryl's program as well. So high five to you for taking all of the information, because all this information that everybody's listening to, like there's just so much information going out. It's awesome that you were able to find information that works for your channel, apply it to what it is that you're doing, and now you're crossing over 30,000 subscribers on your channel. So high five, fist bump to you. I love seeing that. That's absolutely awesome.
Super chat.
Oliver, thank you for the super chat as well. Oliver says, what mic is this? This is a Shure SM7B. that is what this is. And let me go into this group thing here really quick. Here is the link for anyone who wants to hop on today. Boink. All right. So next question that we have on our list, and let me just scroll through here really quick, make sure that I got everything. We got what mic is that? That was covered. Okay, good. Moving on. Okay, so next up that we have on the list here really quick. Oh, and Jen says, hey, thanks for the valuable info. Cheers. I'll pass it on to Jen when we'll talk about it in the morning. Take care, and thanks again. Yeah, my pleasure. Let's see here. So next question that we have on the list while we're waiting for D to possibly come in. If he's coming in, I'm not sure if he's coming in like right now or when he's coming in, but I think he's going to be coming in relatively soon. But the next question that we have is from Fair YT. The channel's a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is to learn at the moment and eventually build a community. And the question is, what's the best way to experiment with different types of content early on in your channel without alienating those who are already there? Slowly is the answer to that. So basically, when you are
Super chat.
Oliver says, I ask questions. And thanks. Oh, no, you're good. You're okay. But when it comes to experimenting on your channel, one of the things that you want to make sure that you are doing is trying to think the people that are already subscribed to the YouTube channel, as long as you have like a decent subscriber base already. If you have like, 100 subscribers or even, 5,000 subscribers, like you can take your channel, in any direction that you want, that early on. But once you start, getting the ball rolling, you want to make sure that you are really paying super close attention to the content that you're putting out, and that you are being as relevant as possible to the interests of the people that have come in and grown your channel for you, in terms of the people that are subscribed, that keep coming back and watching your videos, things like that. And the reason for that is because you want to make sure that the video that you published today is also in alignment with the video that you published, the last time, so that when it gets presented to those people on the homepage or recommended next to another video on YouTube, that it's still aligned with the interests of those people, which then increases the chances of those people clicking on that next video and then coming in and watching that, which means that there's more likely to get served the next video after that one. And then if they click that one and come in and watch, and then you get that whole snowball rolling because you're serving that audience who likes to consume that type of content. Ladies and gentlemen, very special guest today. So pumped to have him back on the stream today. He's coming in from a backwards, upside down schedule from Mexico, waking up early, I guess it would be, and hang out here on the stream with you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my brother from the same mother, D. Nimmin. D.
What is going on? How is my favorite brother from the same mother? How you doing, man?
Dan, when he sees this, he's going to be upset that you just said that. Dan's going to be like, did he just call him his favorite brother? I thought I was his favorite brother.
Look at how big I am. I think I need to shrink my thing here.
You need to scoot it back a bit.
Let me scoot myself back. Hold on.
All right. Okay. Sounds good.
Super chat.
Oliver says, Nick, it says that you can't live stream if you are under 13. Yeah. So if you're under 13, of course, you're going to have, some of those things that you're going to have to deal with, in terms of, just making sure that YouTube is doing that because they have laws that they have to abide by. So if they don't let you stream, it's because they have laws that they have to abide by, that they're basically playing it safe so that they don't get in trouble by letting you go on there and live stream. Baking with Charlene, good morning. Nice to see you here. Artist Haven, nice to see you here as well. Artist Haven says, greetings, y'all. Thank you for the great members only stream yesterday. I've been taking action already. High five, fist bump. Love to see that. John Pullum, what's up, dude? Nice to see you here as well. So D,
I can't
coming in from Mexico.
Hola.
Here, do you want me to do this? Is that better? Here, I'll come in. Yeah. I'll spend the next 3 hours hunched over like this.
Yeah. What's funny is I adjusted this so when I came in that it would be nice and crisp, and I didn't realize how far back you were. So,
Yep. I'm all the way back here.
It won't let me change it on the fly. So
yeah.
There you go. We're rolling with it. Hey.
Yep.
We're talking about YouTube today. What are we talking? We talking about IGTV? What are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're talking about TikTok. So yeah,
TikTok.
So basically everybody in here has a TikTok channel. And basically we're talking about TikTok and how they can, get more traction on TikTok. So when it comes to TikTok, D, what are your best tips?
Don't wear a bra and dance.
Okay. There we go. Steelio Minecraft. Yeah. Welcome back, D. Welcome back.
I've missed you.
All right.
Super chat.
Stelio Minecraft says hello. Hello, Stelio Minecraft. Nice to see you hanging out in the chat today.
Super chat.
Oliver says, so can you stream a game without a face cam? Absolutely, you can. Actually, if you're on a PlayStation, you can stream directly from your PlayStation directly onto Twitch. I don't know if you can stream directly to YouTube or not, but I know you can stream directly onto Twitch.
I do have a TikTok tip.
Okay.
If you're
it's
making
YouTube, D. It's YouTubers, by the way. It's YouTubers.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I was gonna say, if
sorry.
you're on TikTok and you're making TikToks, make sure to add popular music to your tracks, because that's the whole thing. People, the popular tracks, that's what people are looking at. So add popular
There we go.
music. There you go.
There we go. Boom. TikTok tip of the day. We need like an
TikTok tip of the
audio
day.
clip for that. TikTok tip of the day. Yep. Need to hit up Neil or Mike for that. One of the two. Yeah. So we can get a TikTok tip of the day. Something that just doesn't even apply. We should just mislead on TikTok.
Right.
Yeah. Just be like, yeah. So
I'm
what you
all
want to do
for
is
it.
never use music
Yeah.
and what it is that you're doing on TikTok. That'd be hilarious.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, so we're basically pulling questions out of the chat today, D, and we can just kind of pass these around, pass them back
Yeah,
and
let's
forth,
do it.
you know, that whole thing.
Super
Oliver
chat.
says, and when you're under 13. Yeah, so when you're under 13, again, that's one of those situations. Well, actually, I think you might be able to do it in PlayStation. I'm not sure, because have your parents set it up for you, and then you'll probably be okay. I'm not sure, but definitely you want to check the terms of service with PlayStation and all that to make sure that you're good there.
Super chat.
Mills Outdoor Vlog says, hey, Nick, I have a woodworking channel as well as this outdoor channel. Woodworking is doing better. I'm confused. Thoughts? In my opinion, I think that if you have woodworking content that's doing better, that you should pursue, to start making more woodworking content, because that's the stuff, or those are the people that YouTube is showing your content to who are responding to that content. So because of that, if that was my channel, I would double down on your woodworking content, because that's what people are enjoying the most from you at this point in time, at least the people that YouTube is showing your content to. So it could be how you're packaging the woodworking content. It could be how you're titling it in terms of woodworkers knowing it's for them compared to just your general outdoor stuff that might be a little bit more vague, as an example. I don't know if that's it, but I'm just saying, that's something you would want to consider. But yeah, you definitely want to, in my opinion, you definitely want to double down on the woodworking content if that's what people are enjoying the most from you. D, what are your thoughts on that?
No, 100%. 100%. And we're just going to go back to TikTok for a second here.
Oh, no.
No.
What have we done?
Since this whole COVID thing has happened and everything, you're inside, I've had a lot of time to explore things that I haven't had time to explore in the past. TikTok is one of those things. I'm amazed at the amount of woodworkers, the amount of people putting drywall up, the people doing like oddly satisfying videos. But woodworkers specifically, I'm seeing woodworking clips on TikTok with millions of views on them.
Interesting.
Millions and millions and millions of views. Just interesting stuff. Just interesting things on how to build things out of wood. So it's just something to think about. And Patty
Nice.
Broussard, Nick, you know Patty. You remember
Yeah,
Patty?
yeah.
She's crushing over on TikTok. And
Nice.
she's able to send her TikTok viewers over to her YouTube channel. So she's
Nice.
growing her YouTube channel by way of TikTok.
Nice. I have another friend that's doing that. Zachary Babcock. He's in the same exact situation to where he's doing like motivational stuff and like make money online stuff on TikTok, and then he's overflowing. Every single time he gets a higher performing video on TikTok, then you see that spike in his YouTube stats where it basically flows over onto his YouTube channel. Alex Guberman is also crushing it from E4 Electric
Yes.
over there on
Yes.
TikTok as well. I think he's approaching 500,000 followers over there. So he's also doing
Awesome.
Also doing fantastic.
Super chat.
Zachary Thomas says, D, how do you get those bold text wraps in your thumbnail using mobile? I usually use drop shadow, but I like the way that your text looks and it really pops against the background.
Okay, so I'm going to guess that you're talking about the double stroke that I put around my text. The closest way you're going to be able to get the double stroke that I found is to use a video editing app called Alight Motion. Pull your thumbnail into, believe it or not, Alight Motion is a great thumbnail builder. If you pull your text or you pull your image into Alight Motion, then use your text feature, you can build up a double stroke in there. I use Photoshop for mine, but I've been able to replicate it inside of Alight Motion.
Nice. Good
There you
tip.
go. And that's
All the
available for
talk
Android
with-
and iOS.
All the talk with Greg Arkhurst.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that next time you are on Facebook, make sure that you check for Nimminati VIP. Just search for that on Facebook, and that's our members-only Facebook group. And you want to make sure that you're a part of that because I live stream into there. So you want to make sure that you're a part of that. We had a live stream yesterday. It was like an hour and a half, and it was just all solid content on growing your channel, and then like a little bit of Q&A as well. But a lot of really good value was there. Got great feedback from the stream. So you definitely want to make sure that you are a part of that Facebook group next time that you get the chance to hop on Facebook.
Roberto Blake's in the house. How's it going,
Hey, Roberto Blake. What's up, man? Nice to see you hanging out in the chat as well. You're also welcome to hop on anytime that you would like throughout the stream today. Let's see here. He's saying that he's also trying to figure out his voice on TikTok. I'm not even trying. I'm locked into Asia over here. Not even giving it a shot. Ron's Trains and Things. What's up, man? Nice to see you in here.
Hey, Ron. How you doing, buddy?
All right. Next question that we have here is from Minok Weary Kun. And they say that they upload when they have time. It's a technology channel. The goal is to become a YouTuber and be awesome. Tell you what, if you want to be awesome, then you got to make sure that you're watching Roberto's content also, because his whole thing is helping you create something awesome today. So if you want to watch something awesome, you got to definitely make sure you're checking out his stuff. But the question is, most of the people who watch the channel don't stick until the end. My average time is very low. What should I do? Keep experimenting, keep making more content. What you have to do in that situation is you have to sit back and you have to say, okay, this is what's going on with my retention.
Sit back,
grab a nice frosty cup of coffee. But what you want to do is you want to open up your audience retention in all of your videos, to where you're getting that lower retention, and you want to start theorizing on why you think people are not sticking around. You have to be objective. You have to remove yourself from the equation, remove the fact that you made the content, and you have to look at it and you have to say, okay, why is it that I think people might be leaving in this particular situation in my video to where I'm not able to hold their attention? And you want to, in this situation, you want to say, okay, this is what is happening in my video. This is how my video is put together. This is the quality of my video, those sorts of things. And you also want to compare it with other people in your space that are making similar types of content that are getting a lot of views, that are getting a lot of activity on their stuff. And then you want to say, okay, here are the theories that I have. So the next video that I'm going to upload, I'm going to start testing theories. And then in that situation, you publish that video and then you go back and revisit, and then you see if the thing that you did made any difference at all. And then you keep rinsing and repeating that process over and over again until you get your audience retention to an acceptable level. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to get 100% on your audience retention. D, how many videos do you have that are 100%?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't have a single video that's even hit 70%.
Interesting.
Okay. And well, here's something else to the device. I found that the device that people are looking at seems to matter too. So people are looking on their phones. People generally have a lower attention span when they're looking on their phones. So look at your traffic and see where your traffic's coming from. But here's something that I want to mention in addition to what Nick just said. I have videos that are ranking #1 on YouTube, that are ranking #1 on Google, right? I'm dominating certain videos for certain keywords, but my audience retention is terrible. But my thumbnail has a really high click-through rate, and I'm going to guess that my even though my audience retention is terrible, it's still outperforming similar videos that are ranking for the same type of keywords. So you don't always have to have the best audience retention. Always try to improve it, but don't beat yourself up for it, because you can definitely still rank and get a ton of views even if it's a little bit lower. You just have to outperform the other videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the idea. Like, I don't have any that are 100% either. I have videos that have hit 70, but the idea is, like D's saying, you want to make sure that you just keep trying to improve with every video, and you have to get things to an acceptable level. And the acceptable level is people go in, they watch it, and they enjoy it, but you also get people to click on it so that you can get as much watch time per impression as possible based on your space. So what I mean by your space is the other videos within your niche that you're competing with. And the reason that it's those is because those are the people that you're showing up in the suggested column next to and that sort of thing. And if they beat you in the click-through rate and the watch time that you're generating per impression, then in that situation, then they're going to end up winning those spots, and you're going to get pushed out of those spots by their content that's performing better than yours. So because of that, you have to get things to an acceptable level to where you're at least able to compete. And you do that by paying really close attention to what's happening in your audience retention. And also, like Dee was saying, making sure that you're also paying attention to your click-through rate as well. But your question was based around your retention. So The power thing that you do is in that situation, you start tracking what works in your thumbnails and what doesn't work in your thumbnails. And then you also start trying to get your retention better. And then you have the power combo of I have a decent click-through rate on my thumbnails, an acceptable competitive click-through rate on my thumbnails, and I have an acceptable amount of watch time coming in for every video that I publish. And I've got an acceptable amount of people subscribing from each video. I've got an acceptable amount of people coming back to my channel when I publish new videos, that sort of thing. That's how you get the ball rolling.
Super chat.
Yeah,
Oliver says, have you ever heard of Vimeo, the iPhone editing app? I've heard of it. Personally, I use Video Leap. That's my iPhone editing app of choice. Luckily, they also sponsored the channel and a bunch of videos too, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, that they are without question, my favorite iPhone editing app, which is why we have that relationship.
I have Vimeo. I haven't put it in. I have it. I haven't opened it yet. I'm constantly finding new apps, like download. I'll download apps until my memory's full, and then have to go back and like remove
Take stuff out. Yeah.
Take stuff in.
Brian G. Johnson in the house. What is up, Brian G. Johnson, man? I hope that you are well. Hope that you are having an awesome Saturday also. Nice to see you hanging out in the chat. You're also welcome to come on if you have any spare time today. I don't know if you're still on vacation or what it is that you are up to, but if you are, just chilling or whatever.
Revolution.
I think he is. I think he's building an army of poodles. Yeah, it's like, hey, with all this stuff going on in the world, nobody's getting in my place. I got an army of poodles protecting it, right?
Yeah. I just want real quick.
Super chat.
Good. Based on the content that you make, for example, the majority of my videos are tutorial based. And what I found is the moment that last step goes in, even if I don't tell them it's the last step, but the moment they realize that it's the last step, they're out. Like only the actual, people who want to hang out, people who are in the community, people who are regulars in the comments, those are the people who continue watching. The average person, because they came there to learn how to do that thing, once they learn how to do that thing, they're gone.
Man, I have a video. So I was putting the analytics part of the course together. And one of the references that I use, because talking about that specifically, is in my All Our Questions video about what does AM and PM mean. Video's got, a lot of views on it, like 100 and something, or maybe 200 and something thousand views on it. Decent click-through rate, all that good stuff. However, like you can see directly that the video is what does AM and PM mean, which means the people that are looking for that or that are getting presented to that, when they click on it, they're just expecting to find out what AM and PM means. So you see the retention's way up here. And then I'm like, AM is when blah, 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 and PM is when blah, blah, blah. And then soon as that, gone. And then for the next, 4 minutes of the video, it's pretty much a ghost town. So it's you definitely got to make sure that you are careful with those things.
Super chat.
Nate Brody makes me think of Brody from Homeland. D.
Oh man,
says your
you watched
advice.
The last season?
No, I haven't watched since Brody has been gone.
Hold on.
I missed it all.
Season 8 might be one of the best seasons since Brody left.
Oh, come on. Don't do this to me.
No. It is the best season.
Don't do this to me.
It's it. It's the final season. There's no more. They wrap it up.
But
it's
8
great.
of them? When did they take Brody out?
Season 3 was the last one for Brody.
So I got to watch like 4 more to get to start 8?
You could probably just watch 7 and 8.
Okay. Yeah, I might give that a shot then.
Yeah, watch 7 and 8. Yeah.
So Nate Brody says that your advice has been great, has helped me grow. I want to say thank you. My pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the content and getting value from it. My biggest issue is finding consistent formats for my videos. Any tips? Absolutely. Go into your videos that have done well in terms of audience retention, and that is the format that you want to work with. So when it comes to, if you're talking about the actual structure of your videos, then in that situation, you want to go and see what has done well for you in the past and go with that. If you're talking about format in terms of like the type of content, then in that situation, same exact thing applies. The stuff that the people are enjoying the most from you, that's the indicator that you're looking for. This is the indicator that you're looking for, that you need to go in and say, okay, this is the stuff that people are digging from me, and this format and this video structure is how, this is what's working for these videos that have done better. So I'm going to keep nurturing that in order to, make sure that I'm getting the best results possible on my channel. Any additional tips there, D?
Nope, you nailed it. That was
okay.
Good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support.
I have a question then. Would you have them look all time, or would you have them check within the last 90 days? in terms of?
I would have them look all time on the format. Yeah, I would have them look all time for that, just because of, historically, if people are always enjoying that other type of, or, that one format, then you definitely want to go with it. Of course, breaking it down to 90 and then 60 and then 30 is also a win to make sure that it's still current, to what's happening on the channel. But yeah, absolutely. Look at it at overall to see what people are digging the most. And then, you can start fine tuning from there if you choose to. The
Super chat.
Arkansas Diamond Miner. That sounds like a cool gig. Says, hey, great to see you guys. Hey there, Brian G. I just realized I have a Nimmin-esque beard on my channel icon. Sweet. Hey, us bearded folks, we got to stick together, right? Yeah, we got to stick together with our beards.
When this whole thing happened, the lockdown happened, I didn't shave for a couple of weeks. I was pretty gnarly.
Man, I'm like a week, I think, and a half now, maybe a week. Yeah,
No,
without. Yeah, it's getting a little long there. When like in person, it's getting a little bit scraggly, but it's okay. I'm actually kind of digging it, so I might roll with this for like another week or two.
And can I just
Paul
say
Peck, what's up, dude?
Hey, Paul Peck, can I just say how much cooler it sounds to be a diamond miner than a gold digger?
Yeah, I know, right? Right? Yeah, that's like a whole other. Yeah, that's like a whole other group, right?
Right. What do you do?
Yeah, so you got the gold diggers to where it's like, and then you've got the diamond miners that are like, yeah, right. So yeah, you don't want to be a gold digger. You want to be a diamond miner. Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah, it's good.
Ain't that right, Josephine?
That sounded like a call out. Okay, let's see here. The next question we have on our list is from Chris Gee Reacts. And it's a reaction channel. The goal of the channel is to create the most awesome reaction videos and to grow as well. I think Roberto's planting these because that's two awesomes in a row. Roberto, I don't know if you're planting these people in here or not, but yeah, that's two awesome references in a row.
Roberto's got the awesome squad coming in for attack.
Yeah, he's like, all right, awesome squad, go in there, fill these questions up with awesome. We need every question to have something about awesome in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's psychology operations there. So what is the best way to title reaction videos? Normally for my reaction videos, I would say reaction to. Is that good enough, or is it a better title to something else? Like, for example, maybe something that happened in the video. If I do that, it should be okay as long as reaction to is in the about section. Thank you. Your videos are always super helpful. So when it comes to titling your reaction videos, you want to think about what would get the person to click. So if you found a pattern that already works for you, then of course you want to lean into that. But you can also do things like, instead of doing reaction to, it could be like, I can't believe I saw this with my own eyes. Or it could be something like, that'd be if you're just going just like crazy broad.
I didn't expect
I would
this.
be, yeah, I wouldn't, yeah, I didn't expect this when I watched this, I didn't expect this, something like that.
Right,
but you do want to be a little bit more fine-tuned with your keywording. And what I mean by keywording isn't necessarily that you're going for search, but so that people can identify that the thing that you're reviewing or reacting to is something that they're interested in. So they could be interested in just the reaction itself, but you could put that in your thumbnail. But the idea is you want to try to work your keyword that would trigger that person to realize that they were interested in what it is that you're talking about first. So it could be like, let's say it was a music video. Then it could be like the name of the actual song itself. And then it could be, this reaction is, was totally unexpected, or, something along those lines, or, this music video, unexpected reaction, something along those lines. But you want to look for words that are more impactful when you're writing titles for something like a reaction video, because just having like reaction to, that's like down here on the impact level. You want to raise that up by using stronger language when you are putting those titles together. Any additional tips, Dee?
Yeah, like you want to give people a reason to click. Like my reaction to this, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Get me excited about it. Like make me want to click. Get me excited, or make me figure out, wow, what was so amazing that you're reacting in this way. Like, don't just my reaction to this. That's boring.
Yes.
Be creative. Yeah.
Yes. Next up, we've got Aaron the Gladiator. Come on, that's an awesome name. Yeah, that's like, woo.
At least it's
I want to hang out with you, Aaron. That's awesome.
At least it's not Aaron the Awesome Gladiator.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the question yet, D. We haven't gotten down to the question.
Yeah, I want to be an awesome gladiator. How can I do that?
I would have left. I would have just shut it down and left. Been like, all right, everybody, we're everybody head over to Roberto's channel. We're going to be hanging out over there instead.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to hand this over to Roberto.
So next up we have, the Gladiator. So it's a gaming channel. I'm uploading videos because it's always been my dream to become a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers. I've watched all of your videos and they're awesome and done as asked, and yet I fail to get viewers. He said awesome. I watch your videos and they're awesome. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't. Okay, but I've done all you asked, and yet I fail to get viewers. If you fail to get viewers, then I'm going to guess that you're not doing everything that we talk about. Because here's the thing. I mean, I'll just say it like it is. So there's a lot of information that I share on the channel. And within that information, there's a lot of nuance that goes along with that information. And people that are hanging out in the chat that have been watching for Pauline, what's going on? Nice to see you.
Hey,
so people that are hanging out in the chat that's been around, for a while. Some people that are hanging out in the chat, like they've been hanging out in the chat for, a long time. And, some people will still pick up additional information, even though we've said similar things over and over and over again. That one time that they hear it again, it's like, oh, okay, I get it now, right? Like that's some of the feedback that I've gotten from the content, because for a period of time I had this thing to where I was like, we say a lot of the same things with, when we're streaming a lot. And then I started getting feedback, so I started asking around, and the feedback that I got was, well, sometimes it takes, a lot of times hearing something in order for it to actually sink in or to really, get what it is that you are talking about. So when you say that you're doing all the things, it's possible, but if you are doing all of the things, then your channel will be will be moving forward. So if your channel's not moving forward, then at this point in time you're not doing all the things yet. So you need to make sure that you're watching more content. You are going through the YouTube Creator Academy. If the things that I'm saying, and this is for everybody, if the things that I'm saying are not resonating, to where it's kind of like, hey, I'm applying all of this, but for some reason it's not, moving forward, definitely, there's other people that make content like I do as well. And you want to listen to them as well, because you might hear them say something to where we're both talking about the same thing, but the way that they say it might make a little bit more sense compared to how I say it, or vice versa, to where somebody else could say something, it doesn't make much sense, but the way that I say it, it resonates more. So that's a thing as well. But here, like when I'm looking at your channel, for example, I can see right now, just by looking at your channel art, just by itself at a glance, that you're not doing all of the things that we talk about. I'm looking at your channel page right now, and you have like one line of videos going across the top of your channel page. So you're absolutely not doing the things that we talk about here on the channel.
Hey, you're listening to my voice through speakers, and it's causing an echo.
It is?
Yeah.
Coming through your headphones, it's causing an echo?
I can hear it, and people in the chat are saying that I'm an echo. It's because it's coming through the speaker as well as coming through.
Okay, yeah, that's what I always do. Here, let me just turn it down a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Because I can hear it when I speak. I hear it coming through a speaker.
Okay, there we go. Let me turn that down, that down, that down. Okay, so next up on our list, we've got Joey Hernandez Bass, and they say that the channel is a music instruction upright bass channel. They help beginners with upright bass applied to salsa and Latin jazz. This is right up your alley. So just as a little side note here, folks, D plays bass.
Player.
He's actually really good at bass. He's actually really good. I don't know how that happened. I guess it's just practice. I can't say that like, oh, you're just naturally talented, because you would like play guitar until your fingers bled when you were young. But he's really good. Like if you give D an instrument, he'll be really good at it, like in no time flat. He's really good at music.
That's sweet. Thank you. It's practice.
Yeah. Practice and understanding too.
It's everything else.
Going to music school, understanding music and all that good stuff.
It's I got the fire in me, man.
You got the funk.
Soul.
You got the funk in your soul.
I bleed butter. I bleed butter. Right? Funky green butter is what I believe.
Funky green butter. So the question is, currently I record videos in Spanish. Should I translate in English using closed captions or re-record with a voiceover in English? The latter seems to be more time consuming and might look funny. So if you record videos in Spanish, I recommend that you just target the Spanish speaking market. So if you're already recording your videos in Spanish, then target the Spanish speaking audience. It's really important
right now too.
As it is. It's really important as a content creator to make sure that you understand who it is that you're trying to reach, because that will help you. And this is for everybody that's watching right now. If you know who it is that you're making content for, and you know who it is that you're trying to reach with your content, that is how you cater what it is that you're doing to that particular audience, so that you can increase the response that you're getting with what it is that you're doing. So if you are making videos in Spanish, instead of translating them to English where they might not watch, because there's plenty of English speaking content that they can watch about playing bass. That is just make content in Spanish and target the Spanish speaking audience if that's what you are going after.
Super chat.
Looks like D vanished, but I'm thinking he'll be back because I just saw him walk away, but his cam's still there. Chris says, sometimes I do reaction videos on my channel. I've probably done 5 so far. Is it possible to monetize your channel with reaction videos? Thanks for all you do. It can be. So here's the thing when it comes to monetization these days is they actually review your channel. So you'll see that there'll be some people that will make some type of content, like those data videos, for example. Like you'll see channels that are getting monetized that make those data videos to where, it'll show like, this is how this has grown over time type of thing. And then somebody else will do something very similar and they won't get monetized. So it could come down to the actual person that's reviewing it or whatever. But with reaction content, people are getting monetized with reaction content, but there have also been issues with people getting monetized with reaction content as well. So because of that, it's kind of one of those things where it's a toss up. And it's really important to make sure that you understand that when you're making the content and when you're putting in all the time and all the effort making your reaction videos. Same thing with like music covers and things like that, that you might put yourself in a situation to where you're not able to get monetized. You're not able to really take advantage of all the awesomeness of YouTube because I think Roberto's thing is working, but because because you are using other people's content in order to make your content. Without their content, you wouldn't be able to make your content. So because of that, just know that there's risks involved with that. And with those risks, you have to make that call on if you are, willing to take it or not.
Super chat.
Pauline, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Says D on the bass,
Thank
me
you,
on the
Pauline.
singer, songwriter, Nick on the Nick the rapper. Keep up the tremendous work, my friends. Yeah, thank you for that. We appreciate it. And yeah, that would be a fun that would be a fun stage moment right there. I think.
Have you been practicing?
We need
on
a
the,
drummer.
keys?
Huh?
You've been practicing?
I
on
have
those
just a
keys?
little bit, but not a lot, because I'm focused everything on like getting my course all wrapped up. So I haven't been playing on them too much, but I have been playing on them a little bit. So getting there.
All right. Good.
So let's see here. Next question. Next up, we have the Tennis Pro Doc. Tennis Pro Doc uploads 1 time per week or more. It's a tennis channel. The goal is to make a sustainable hobby around something I enjoy, a break from my day job. And the question is, I would like to do tennis news weekly, but I don't want to use copyright video or get in trouble. Wondering if just doing tennis news without video replay is too boring for most, or if it's an okay format as long as I add graphics and try to add some comedy and personality. Thanks for the help. Yeah, so that's another one of those situations to where if you are using someone else's content to make yours, then you do always run that risk. So because of that, you have to make sure that if you are running that risk, that you're willing to, possibly get a strike or a claim, because they're 2 different things. A copyright strike is when they're actually, causing damage. Think of it like they're striking your channel. And then a claim is where they're actually claiming the ad revenue from the video that you published. So if it's a claim, it's like, oh, it sucks. I put in the content. They're reaping the rewards for it. But the strike will actually, you'll lose your channel over copyright strikes. But
3
claims,
strikes
not
within
so
90
much.
days. 3 strikes.
Yeah, 3 strikes within 90 days.
You're out of
Toast.
there.
Yeah, toast. So you have to be mindful of that. So what I would recommend in this situation is talk about it. Talk about it, just show like graphics on the screen or images on the screen. I wouldn't take actual video clips. Technically, you may. I'm not a lawyer. I don't recommend that you do this, but I do recommend that you consult a social media lawyer or a copyright lawyer, would be a better person, to where you can, bounce that off of someone to see if they would be able to argue fair use or not. But you might want to look under fair use and see if the approach that you're thinking of taking would fall under fair use, and ask a lawyer, because you need to be willing to defend it in court if you are going to make that type of content, because it can be risky.
Super chat.
Sugar Blue, I think that's how you say your name, says I went from 216 subs to 4,000 in 6 days. I'm pretty stoked and nervous. Do you have any advice for channels that are growing fast? First, high five, fist bump to you. That is awesome. Love seeing that. Well done. So
can we do like a
like one of these? Yeah, I have trouble with this thing too. Here we go. Almost. Do we get it?
Yeah, shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake.
Boom. Shake and bake. Shake and bake. Woo. Boom. Yep, there we go.
Shake and
All right.
bake.
Man, that was an ordeal. So when it comes to channels that are growing fast, a couple things that you want to do is you want to get yourself ready, because shortly you're probably going to have, depending on the type of content you have, you're going to have people reaching out to you for a bunch of different things. So one of the things is sponsorship. So because of that, you want to make sure that you get yourself the actual URL of your channel name, if possible. And that is because you want to have a professional email or a official email for what it is that you're doing. And that is for in the event that you start reaching out for like brand deals and that sort of thing, trying to, you know, create those types of relationships. But you also want to make sure that you have your business inquiry filled out on your email, filled out on your YouTube channel. You also want to make sure that you know a general idea for pricing that you would do for sponsorships if you are interested for, you know, if you are interested in sponsorships on your videos. You're also going to have people start reaching out to you for collaborations, that sorts of thing. Possibly if your channel is growing rapidly and you start getting a lot of attention on your channel. So with that, you also want to set up kind of like an email filtering system. And one of the ways that you do that is you have like your public facing email address that is on your business inquiry on your About Me page. And then from there, that's where pretty much everybody's going to try to contact you. And then you have another email address that you would move people to if it's like a business thing. So you would have like your relationship one in terms of like, hey, these are other creators that I'm like becoming friends with. So they're going to have this email that's pretty much like direct access. And then you have the business one, which is like anybody that I'm working with at like a sponsorship level or anything that I'm working with to where people are, you know, sending me things or I'm doing any type of deals. Those people are going to be filtered into another email. And then you're going to still have that pretty much open fan mail that you can go in, you can check that one, you know, anytime that you want. But your priority mails, of course, you know, those would be the ones that you would move people to because, you know, you don't want your notifications going off all the time on your phone because you have your phone connected to your public facing email as an example.
Zero notifications.
Yeah, zero. Yeah. But you also want to make sure that you get your name on all of the social media platforms as well, because as you start gaining prominence, there will most likely be other people that might try to capitalize on that also because people are just that way.
Yes.
So like you want to make sure that you have your name on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, anything else that comes up, you know, LinkedIn, you know, your Facebook page, all of that stuff. You want to get your name everywhere, including that URL or website name that I was talking about. You want to make sure that you do that also. And another thing, go ahead, D.
I was going to say, in addition to everything that he said, go watch any of Nick's videos where he talks about setting up your channel, because there's certain ways that you can set up your channel to capitalize on the growth.
I'm glad you said this.
Videos. So I don't know what the titles are of those videos on your channel, but I know you've made them. Very important that you get your channel set up correctly so you create a web of content that's going to send views from one video to another video to another video, which is going to increase your watch time. It's going to rise the whole channel up, your entire content library, if you do it correctly.
Yeah, so one of the ways that you can do that is go watch my videos on increasing watch time, because that particular one, I talk about the watch time trap and how you can do that. But you also want to make sure, like with what Dee was talking about, you want to make sure that your channel itself, a lot of content creators, like the person that said that they were listening to my advice, but I looked at the channel and they had one strip going across. You want to make sure that you have content organized into playlists on your YouTube channel so that all of that traffic that's flooding into your channel right now, for the people that click on your channel, your channel name, and they go to your actual channel page, they can just scroll down and see your content organized into in a way that they can go in and find the content that they want to watch that's of interest to them. And for the people that go to your video page, YouTube's already got it set up there in terms of like, here's just a big splurge of videos. But what you want to do is you want to organize content based on the things that people are interested in on your channel so that they can easily find the things that they're most interested in, hit play, sit back, and just watch your content. That's the idea. Okay. So those are some things that you want to make sure that you are doing.
Super chat.
Ant King UK says, hey, I'm a new channel showing the progression of an ant colony. That's awesome, by the way.
A little bit creepy, but awesome.
It's awesome. I love the profile picture too. Says, I've had a lot of support from the community, but I was wondering how I branch out. I think you got to dig a tunnel. I think it's what you have to do in your situation. I don't think you're branching out per se. I think you got to dig a tunnel. No, I'm just kidding.
What I learned a long time ago is you don't escape ants. You don't break ants. You kill them. You kill them all. There's no other way around it. Kill the colony. Get the colony.
So in terms of branching out, I don't know if you mean like spreading out and making more content. So if you are showing the progression of an ant colony and your channel's growing based on that, some other things that you might want to mix into your content strategy are actually, you know, showing people like the right products that they should get if they are interested in growing an ant colony, sharing with people, you know, the things to keep in mind when you're growing an ant colony. And if you are focusing everything on ants, which I'm guessing by your channel name, Ant King, that you are, then in that situation, just start thinking, people that are into ant colonies, all the things that, you know, that I was figuring out when I was trying to, you know, put together cool ant colonies and all that. What is all that information and how can I package that up into a bunch of videos and share it with other people? So that's kind of the idea. Or you can also do fun things, like you could do a 24-hour live stream of a, you know, ant colony to where people could come and just watch a close up of your ant colony, you know, in a live stream, you know, fun things like that as well for branching out. So just get creative and just think for the people that are into that type of thing, like, you know, what do you find interesting? You're clearly into it if you have a YouTube channel about it. So just think like, what do you find interesting about ant colonies and how can you package that up into videos and push that on your YouTube channel?
I don't know what type of content they're currently making besides ants, but one thing that I'm fascinated with ants is I love watching hyperlapse videos. So, you know, extremely fast-forwarded videos of ants doing things, like ants digging things, you know, inside their little ant house, or ants eating, you know, a donut or something like that, a time lapse of the ant. I'm fascinated with that. I will watch almost as much as the bear stuff. And YouTube gives me a bear video, they know I'm watching. And if
You
they
just
give me an
said
ant-
bear, so you know you're going to get that content
Oh, yeah.
served to
Oh,
you
it's,
soon.
it's all the time. But
Yeah.
if it's like a fast forward ant video, I'm watching that too. I'm fascinated with that.
Interesting.
And question before, the person grew to 4,000 subscribers in 6 days.
Yes.
I just want to mention, you know who else just hit 4,000 subscribers today?
Doug Houston YT.
Doug Houston YT hit
Boom.
4,000 subscribers today.
Congratulations,
So I wanna
Doug.
high five,
Congratulations.
fist bump Doug.
Yeah, everybody congrats Doug as well. High five and fist bump to you for crossing that 4K. Christina Smallhorn D, I don't think you were on the thing for it. You might have been getting ready. She crossed 30K today.
Oh, Christina.
Yeah. So yeah, big wins. Big wins coming in today. High five, fist
Yeah.
bump to both of you guys.
Hashtag Nimminati.
Super chat.
Damanji Jennings says, Damani, sorry about that, says, hey, Nick, I bought a lot of views and subscribers before. Is there a way to grow organically again, or do I have to make a new channel? Thank you. So it depends on how many views and how many subscribers that you got. Personally, I would just start fresh. But technically, you know, all it takes is one video to take you out of that, you know, hole. But the problem when people do that sort of thing is they're basically paying for those numbers, but then when videos are published and they're put on those channels or they're put on those home pages, the people aren't responding to them, or the bots aren't responding to them. So because of that, it creates this kind of, you know, stagnation on a channel. So if it was me and I had made that mistake, I would actually start a new YouTube channel and just build it organically from scratch. That's what I would do. Karma, glad that you enjoyed the rap video that we did.
Super chat.
Just Be Out says aloha. Aloha. Says, does YouTube allow to stream live on mobile at 1080? If so, where can I find that setting? If not, is Streamlabs the only option for streaming 1080 on a mobile device? D, this is your department. Do you know the answer to this?
Yes. So if you're going to stream 1080 on a mobile device, if you're an iOS user and you're wanting to do talking head content like this, both Prism Live Studio will stream out at 1080 and Switcher Studio will stream out at 1080. And if you're an Android user, Prism Live Studio will stream out at 1080 as well. I've had a lot of people complaining about the Streamlabs mobile app. The mobile app having tons of crashes. I've stopped making videos on it because it's had so many problems.
Interesting.
But I know Prism is solid.
Okay. There you have it.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we're going to hop into the form for this one. And let's see here, the form.
I just want to say, for those of you who do have problems with the StreamYard app, or the Streamlabs app, follow Doug, because Doug's made a handful of videos trying to solve those problems with the app. But it's an ongoing thing with that app.
There we go.
Yeah.
So the next question is from Click Central. Click Central says that they have a random channel, says, I want to get more subs and watch time. How do I get my 4,000 hours of watch time? So you don't want to have a random channel. So what you want to do, Click Central, is you want to think of who it is that you're making content for. Making content for everybody will get you no viewers at all. So what you want to do is you want to think, okay, who specifically am I making content for? Who specifically would enjoy the type of content that I'm putting out? And then you want to be very thoughtful intentional and strategic about the content that you're releasing so that you can make sure that every video that you put out is a good fit for those people that you are making the content for. So if you really want to get your 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time quickly, the first thing you have to do is think of the viewers, because without the viewers, you're not going to be able to get that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time if you're trying to get monetized. So you want to think, okay, instead of just making random content and throwing up a bunch of just stuff that if somebody watched one of those videos that they're probably not going to watch one of the other videos, instead, I'm going to focus my channel around a central top or a specific topic. And then every video that I make on the channel is going to be about that specific thing. And you take that approach, and that's how you get that first 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time quickly. When it comes to watch time specifically, that video that we were talking about before on the watch time trap, make sure that you watch my videos on getting more watch time on your videos as well. All right.
Yep, that's solid. And I just want to throw a little tidbit in there because I know a lot of people is just getting started on YouTube, and I get asked this a lot during my stream.
If you're getting started on YouTube, if you're just getting started, give us a hashtag me, just because I'm curious to know. If you're just getting started, you're just getting the ball rolling on YouTube, hashtag me. Go ahead, D.
I know everybody wants to grow fast, but the question that I get asked a ton every time I go live, or people even ask in my comments, is I'm just getting started. I have so many ideas, so many things that I want to make a video about, but I don't know what to make my channel about yet. And I don't know if Nick will disagree with this or not, but what I'd like to recommend is if you don't know what your niche is yet, your niche, if you don't know what you're going to make your channel about, and you're just getting started, that's where I would agree with throwing a bunch of stuff up on the wall and seeing what sticks. Put a bunch of different content up there, see which one people respond to, then go all in on that one thing.
So with that, when you are very first getting started on YouTube, and you've never done like anything with, video content or anything like that, the thing that D is recommending is actually what YouTube recommends as well. So YouTube recommends that you just try putting stuff out there, but as soon as you notice one video performing better than the other videos, that you start walking down that road and that you say, this is the one that I want to make, or this is what my channel is going to be about. And you ride that out, because that means that YouTube has found that audience that responds to one of the pieces of content that you make. So by following what D is talking about, you're giving yourself that freedom at the beginning, but the idea is that as soon as you have one video start performing better than the others, like let's say that you typically get 100 views, but then you have one video that out of nowhere gets like 1,000 views or 2,000, or like in the situation here with the channel that went from like 216 subscribers to 4,000 in no time flat. When things like that happen, then it's like, okay, YouTube has found the people that like my stuff, so I need to make sure that I double down on that stuff and focus solely on making that content. Now, if you come into YouTube like D did, if you come into YouTube and you're like, hey, this is who I'm making content for, and this is the content that I'm going to make and things like that, then you're giving yourself that edge right out of the gate. But if you have no idea, if you're like, hey, I just want to upload videos to YouTube and I just want to try a bunch of stuff right now, give it a shot. Plus, you can always start new channels. Like if you're brand new, like, you can always walk away from a channel and start a new channel and walk away from that one, start a new one if you want to. But in order to like really make sure that you're getting the results that you're after, finding something that thinking of an audience, finding something that you want to make for that audience, and then continually making that content for a period of time is ultimately what you want to do.
Right. Yeah. My advice is only for people who don't know what type of content they want to make.
Yeah. Because we had a lot of me's coming in there for people that are just getting started. Yeah.
Solid strategy.
Super chat.
So really quick, iFun Chris says, hey, thanks for all the help to YouTubers. Our pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the content. I've also got another one in here that it looks like we overlooked as well. Okay. So the other one that slipped by is from Easy Cooking and Living with, I can't see it until I hover over here. Easy Cooking and Living with, and then it kind of truncates. But the question is, struggling to find out my audience. So far, my first video has been the most successful and still growing views. How do I figure out my audience? So that first video, if you're doing easy cooking and living, hold on, let me look at your channel real quick. If you're doing like cooking videos and you found a particular video, as long as you're still doing cooking videos, then you're fine. But the idea is when you do notice one video performing better than the other videos, that's where you want to go into your stats and try to figure out why. You want to look at the click-through rate compared to the impressions that you're getting. You want to look at the average view duration on that video compared to the other videos on the channel. You also want to look at just the overall engagement. You just want to see, you know, what's happening on the channel. So if you go into your YouTube stats, there's a feature called compare, and you can literally select one video on your channel within whatever date range that you want, and then you can compare it to another video on your channel within any date range that you want. And then when you do that, that's going to give you insights into, you know, why one video performed over the other video. So that's what you want to do in that situation. So I see that your chicken video did better. So because of that, I would say, okay, what are all of the elements here with this chicken video? And how did people respond to this chicken video compared to the other one? How did I structure that chicken video? How did I start the chicken video that was able to hold people's attention? How long did they watch that chicken video for? What were all the different things that I was doing in that chicken video? What did I do with the thumbnail? You know, those types of things are what you want to make sure that you're looking into. Okay, let me go back to the questions here. Boom, boom, boom.
Super chat.
Richard says, I have a budget of $500 and 2 questions. 1, how can I find a mentor? And 2, what's the most efficient way to have organic growth using a budget? Okay. So the very first, D, do you want this one?
No, I was just going to ask you a question really quick about your audio, because I know we're using StreamYard right now. Are you running all of your audio through the Rode Procaster and then using the Procaster as your audio source?
Yes.
Is that how you're getting the super? Okay. Yeah, I was just curious how you were getting the audio.
Oh, how I was getting the sound effects through?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out, knowing what the equipment that you had. So
hey, also, well, actually, I'll tell you about that one later off stream. But yes, I'll tell you about that off stream. So talking to my brother, right? It's like we're on like a call. So it's like, oh yeah, and hey, did I tell you about this? Right. So I gotta be careful. It's like, oh hey, we're
right.
It's like 300 people watching. I gotta be careful.
You know what Uncle Jed did? Do you have any idea what Uncle Jed did? We had to pick him up, but he was drunk again.
So Richard's the finding a mentor. So what you want to do in that situation is the mentor that you're looking for. Really the best way, in my opinion, that you want to find a mentor is find somebody that's doing what it is that you want to do, and somebody that you resonate with, and either befriend them or pay them for that mentorship. So in a lot of cases, that's why people hire coaches and that sort of thing, is for that accountability, for the for having somebody to help guide you through something, so that you don't have to go through the process of making a bunch of mistakes and figuring it all out on your own. So because of that, that's what I would do in that situation. It's what I've done in that situation. The next thing is the most efficient way to have organic growth using a budget. And the very first thing when it comes to organic growth, if you're doing organic growth and you're using a budget, it makes it not organic. Right. So because of that, as soon as you use your budget for organic growth, it becomes not organic anymore. So the only way that it would help for organic growth is if it helped you improve the actual quality of your videos in some way, or help you make better videos, so that you would get that better organic growth because you have better videos. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean that if you do have a better quality video, so to speak, that it's... What is that? Did your mic just come unplugged or something?
No. So I've got all my windows open because it's a beautiful day here in Mexico. Oh. And I'm really close to the street in this front window, and this huge truck just drove by.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is that?
No,
I was like, wow, are we like flying into space? Like, what's going on?
No,
like over here, I just heard this like rumble, and this like, it was just kind of a swelling audio, and I was like, what's going on?
I think it was like an 18-wheeler that just went speeding down the street.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it sounded crazy. But so with your budget, I would put that towards that mentorship. Really, put it towards your mentorship. Put it towards like Yeah, put it towards the mentorship, put it towards, equipment on your channel. But before you even walk down that road, if you're going to pay for like education and that kind of stuff with your channel, the very first thing you should do is go through the YouTube Creator Academy. It's free. It's kind of like an instruction manual. It teaches you kind of the best practices of YouTube. They don't go into like strategy and stuff like that, but they go into like, hey, you need to make sure that you have your channel set up. You need to make sure that you when you're writing titles, that you put your series stuff at the end. All the base things that you need to know in order to get the ball rolling. Just like if you buy a new gadget, you need to make sure that you are reading the instruction manual for that. Right, whoever, whatever. But basically with that that instruction manual, you got to make sure that you are reading that to at least get a base understanding of how do I turn this thing on, how do I get into the menu, like that sort of thing. YouTube's the same exact way.
For people who don't know, the YouTube Creator
Your audio is
Academy,
distorting like crazy, D. Go ahead.
How about now? Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better. It might just be reverb bouncing off of somewhere.
No. Grabster said my audio was too low, so I adjusted something.
Yeah, I think it's up too high now.
What about now?
You're getting close.
Okay, so hold on. Let me try this.
So while you're doing that,
how does that sound? Are we back?
Okay, that's a little better.
We're good?
Yeah.
We're not distorting now? We're good?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. The YouTube Creator Academy is a free course created by YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything. It starts you at the basics, and when you finish, you're going to understand how YouTube works as a platform. If you're going to hire a mentor, you're going to hire a coach, I also recommend you go through that first. So when you do get with the coach, you understand the basics.
You understand what's going on.
Talking about. Right.
You
can, yeah, exactly. You understand what's going on, and then they can take you from that level instead of having to pay them to go through the basics when you can get the basics for free by YouTube.
Yes.
Right.
Hanging with the Lees says, how do we get more views as a family channel? We just started 2 weeks ago and have 4 videos so far, but most of our audience is from Facebook pages. We will do entertainment, DIY, and family fun. So at first, I would definitely focus on like one of those, entertainment, DIY, and family fun, like whichever one of those it is. And the reason for that is so that you can build that core up and then start dripping in the different types of content. Or, like we were talking about before, just do each of those. And as soon as you notice, like the video, as soon as you notice the one does better than the others, then start doubling down on, that specific type of content so you can get the ball rolling. But the same exact thing applies to the family channels as it does to every other channel on YouTube. You have to be able to get people to click on what it is that you're doing. So you have to learn how to make thumbnails that are intriguing to people, and you have to be able to make titles that are compelling as well. So thumbnails and titles that are compelling for the people that you're trying to reach. So what that means is, instead of, as a family channel, a huge mistake that a lot of family channels do is they'll say like, hey, our family trip to the mall, right? And that's fantastic for the Ace family, right? Because they've got, millions of subscribers. There's a bunch of people that as soon as they see, hey, here's, one of the Ace family members in a thumbnail and they're talking about their trip to the mall, I'm already subscribed. I'm a huge fan. I'm clicking on this and I'm watching. Now, family channels, new family channels will see big family channels like that doing those sorts of things. And they'll think, okay, well, it's okay for me to just have a title that says our family trip to the mall. But what you're not putting or factoring in is that you don't have an audience yet that knows about you and your family. And I'll just call it what it is, that cares about your family trip to the mall. So because of that,
nobody cares about you until they care about you.
Right.
Like you have to be strategic until they care about you.
Right. And you have to earn that thing in terms of being able to write a title about our family trip to the mall, and then people actually genuinely being interested enough to be like, oh, I gotta see the family trip to the mall. But the thing that you want to think about is when you're titling your videos, instead of making it all about your family, also think about, okay, how can I make this to where a potential viewer, when it just gets shown to a random person on the internet on a homepage, what is it that I could do with my thumbnail and title that would make that random person interested in what it is that we're doing? So you just have to think of how it is that you're titling your videos. Now, we could talk about titling videos for like an hour just by itself, but the idea is, what you want to do as a new family channel is you want to, when you're putting your videos together, you want to think of, there are people looking for content on YouTube just like yours to watch. When they do that, they're going to like the search field and, things like that. And they're typing in it, the specific things in that they're looking for. And because of that, you can leverage that sort of thing as one of the types of ways that you get people coming into your channel, which is a great way to, kind of get the ball rolling as a new channel. Now, there's also the other side of things, which is, hey, I just logged into YouTube because I saw D uploaded a new video. But while I'm watching D's video, when his video is done, after I watch another one of D's videos, because that's the type of person I am, then I'm going to go over and I'm going to click and I'm going to go and see what's happening on the homepage so I can watch more content, or I'm going to click on something that's being suggested to me in the sidebar. So most likely you're going to be suggested something in the sidebar that would be related to the video that you just watched on D's channel, but they'll also throw some other things in there that they think that maybe you might watch as well. So when you're watching a video on YouTube, other content happens to you. And what that means is you have content presented to you that you had no idea no intention to watch when you logged into YouTube. And based on how that content creator has built that thumbnail and how they've titled that video, you are going to compulsively make the decision on if you're going to watch that video or not. So you have to think of the viewers and how they are going to experience your packaging, and that basically means your title and your thumbnail together because they work together, how they're going to experience your packaging when it's presented to them on the suggested feed over in the side, or if they just log into YouTube, if they watch family content and YouTube identifies that your content is family content and you have people that are watching family content, there's a chance that when you publish your video that YouTube is going to show your video on the pages, on the home pages of other people that are watching family content. So they're qualified viewers. So because of that, you have to think, okay, this person that might be interested in family related or family types of content, what is it that I could do in my thumbnail and title that would cause that person to come in and click on our video and watch and participate in what it is that we're doing? So you really have to think, instead of thinking like, okay, this is what our video is about, so let me just write a title and get it out there, you have to take a step back and you have to really put yourself in the position of somebody that has never seen your content before. They don't know who you are. They don't know who the members of your family are. And you have to think of, what can I do in order to get those people to care enough when they're presented my video in order to click on it. So a really great way to do that is to have one pillar of your content be something about the dynamics of family. So what I mean by that is, let's say you just have a conversational video about things that you deal with your family, and that conversational video is something to where you're helping somebody solve a problem that they might be having with their family, or just overcome a challenge they might be having with their family, so that when they were to see that on their homepage, they would think, oh, you know what, my family's kind of going through that right now too. I wonder what that's about. And then they click on that and then they come in and they watch your video from there. So, you know, there's different ways that you can pull traffic, but at the end of the day, you just want to sit back and you want to think to yourself, when my content happens to somebody on YouTube, why should they care enough to click on it and come in and watch my video? That's the very first step in getting it all rolling. The second thing I want to tell you, make sure that you go into your YouTube analytics, the Facebook page traffic that you're getting right now on your YouTube channel. Go in and you can see, if you go into your traffic sources on the video, you can see how long that Facebook traffic is watching your videos. Make sure that the people that are coming in and watching your videos from Facebook are actually watching your videos. If they're not, and you notice that your average view duration is low, then stop trying to use Facebook for traffic right now. Get the ball rolling on YouTube first, because if you have people coming in from Facebook and they're not watching, then what's happening is that's kind of, you know, working against you. So because of that, you want to stop sharing over there until you can get the ball rolling on YouTube by itself, because all the people that you're trying to reach, they're already here. They're already on YouTube. They're logging in every day, over 2 billion users on YouTube logged in. So, you know, you want to make sure that you are tapping into the traffic that's on YouTube first, and then start exploring some of the other things, you know, as you get the ball rolling.
I have two
Super
things to
chat.
say. Go
ahead.
with the super chat. Go.
Okay, so femininity with, I always have trouble saying that. It's my food hole. So femininity with Mama Gail says, I always enjoy these sessions. My question is, do you think that changing from a feminine channel to a feminine advice channel will make a big difference? I changed my background. Growth is still slow. I would consider it. I would test it. If you think that you would be able to help people solve those problems, that's just an easy way to get views. So like when you're doing any type of help content, it's easy, because what you're doing is you're basically saying, hey, I'm going to help you solve this problem. And when you're doing that, then right out of the gate, it's easy to title the videos. It's easy to come up with video ideas. It's easy to make the actual topic, itself. All you have to do is think, this is the problem I'm solving. How can I make this compelling from the outside so that people actually want to click on it and come in and watch the video? So yeah, I would definitely test it. And I would also consider using the advice channel or the advice content as just like one of the pillars of content that you have, or go all in on the advice content if you start doing that, and it starts, you start getting better results for it.
Super chat.
I would say any content that I don't know if your previous method is actually helping people solve problems or answering their questions. If it's not, and then you pivot to something that's actually going to be answering questions and solving problems, my guess is you're probably going to see growth there. Next thing I want to say is Zach Talks Tech just had
Hey, what's up, man?
He just had surgery yesterday. He's still in the hospital. He's in the chat right now. He said surgery went well. Can we get a hashtag get well soon for Zach, who's watching from the hospital, man?
Zach, man, I didn't know you're in the hospital, man. I hope that you are, I hope that you are doing okay, man.
And I want to say another thing about the family channel. I've seen a lot of people recently. I think Tim Schmoyer did it. I see things popping up where people are making plaques and woodworkings about their family's core values, right? Like if I had a family channel, I would talk about stuff like that, like how to find your family's core values, like things that other families are going to be asking themselves. Well, how did they come up with their core values, or how do they make the plaque? Just think about things that all the other families are going through, and try to capitalize on that, because families just like yours are trying to figure out other family problems as well. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I didn't have a chance, because you didn't breathe. It was like 15 minutes and you didn't take a breath, so I had to get it in where I could get it in.
Super chat.
Just for Joy says, hey, Nick, I want to start using TubeBuddy, but I'm a bit confused about what it does. Does it make sense to have this as a small YouTuber? When is the best time to get it? Thanks. Absolutely, it does. So as a small content creator, you probably won't be using, like if you're not getting like 1,000 views on a video, then I wouldn't worry about the A/B testing just yet. So what I would use it for in your situation is to help you find opportunities for content to make in terms of, like what are my chances of discovery if I make this particular video? And then they'll show you in their keyword explorer, for example, they'll show you other ways that people are looking for that type of content, so that you can lean on that. Other ways that it helps you, it's not just in that way, it also helps you on the channel management side as well. So there's something called upload defaults where you can basically build a template into your video description of different links or different videos that would be relevant to certain content that they would be watching on your channel and that sort of thing. So with TubeBuddy, you can even switch for different upload default templates and that sort of thing. So as a content creator, install it. You can try it for free. Install it and go in there and just start messing with everything. I have some tutorials about it on my channel. So there's also other tutorials on the TubeBuddy channel as well that you can check out that have more current screenshots and that sort of stuff. But install it. Check it out and see the different features that it has. But even as a new content creator, you're going to benefit from using TubeBuddy. So put it in, get in the habit of using it and learn how to use all the different features. Some of the stuff that you're going to want to look into is you're going to want to look into the keyword explorer. That's part of the free package. With that, you get the opportunity to be able to, optimize your videos for different things. You also want to look at some of the channel management features like I was talking about, like the upload defaults and that sort of thing, and being able to switch between those, that sort of thing, just off the top of my head.
Okay, so I keep being told that my audio is quiet. I just
bring it up.
My mic
bring it up.
Closer.
Let's get it cracking.
Super chat.
How does it sound now? So I mean, it's like right next to my mouth.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Does it sound better?
Yeah, it's still a little bit low, but I mean, I'm hearing myself in my own brain, so they would probably be a better gauge.
All right, so it's right up next to my mouth right now. So that's
okay.
Probably as good as you're going to get. So
Richards says, yes, Theory and Mr. Beast commented on my
better.
100 views video where I analyzed their journey, yet my retention got 50% in the first 30 seconds. What are your suggestions to hook people in my type of content? So what you have to do, and this is what we all have to do as content creators. First, I just want to say that that's cool that they took the time to come in, watch the video and subscribe to your channel or leave a comment. That's awesome on their part. But one thing that you want to think about is like when your video first starts, you either want to just get right into the story and you want to test that and see how people respond to that and look in your retention. It'll tell you your audience retention reports. And then you also want to test things like, hey, when the video first starts, just like Mr. Beast does, when the video first starts, I'm going to tell people this is what the video is about. And then we're going to get into the actual video itself. And when you're doing that, because it is a hook, right? It's the reason that you call it a hook is kind of like a, hook and a fish type of thing. So the thing that you also can do is you can be like, this is how, or you could start the video with something like, Mr. Beast has 32 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. And the path that he took to get there has been amazing. And he's applied all these incredible strategies to what it is that he's done. And I'm going to break it all down for you. Let's get into the video. And then you start the video, there, but you want to kind of sell what it is that you're going to be talking about in the video. And you want to make it intriguing in a way to where it's like, okay, this is exactly what I expected when I clicked on this video. He's telling me that I'm going to get what I clicked on and that I'm expecting from the video. He's delivering on the promise. Now I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch, the rest of the content. So experiment with things like that. Other things that you can do with their permission, of course, is, you might be able to show, like little, flashes of, content and that sort of thing as you're talking about it. So that hook might be a voiceover, or that hook could be you on camera saying, this is what's going on. And I'm going to show you, this is how they, got the results that they got on their channel, from my perspective type of thing. So that's what I'd recommend.
Those of you who are at Vid Summit, you probably know this story, but this is a funny thing. So the year before last, Nick gave a presentation at Vid Summit and Mr. Beast was in the audience taking notes, right? So this past year, I get into an elevator. We're at Vid Summit and I'm going upstairs, or no, I think I'm coming down. I don't remember which way. It doesn't matter. I get in an elevator and I go in and I turn around and the door closes and it's Mr. Beast. He's kind of like hiding in the corner. And I think he was in there with Tanner Fox. Is that his name? I think it was Mr. Beast and Tanner Fox in the elevator. And so I'm sitting there and he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hey. And he's like, I enjoyed your talk last year. And I was like, that was my brother. And he's like, oh. Yeah.
And that's funny. If you're in the community, that's funny because, people mistake us for each other all the time.
Yeah.
So like, that just took that whole thing to like a whole other, a whole other level.
Right.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, because all day people keep coming up. It's like, oh, no. Like even in the chat. So you're right. So because I don't have my hat on today, everybody's like, twins. Oh my God, you look alike. Twins. Yeah.
We need to get the same glasses just for fun, or I'll mail mine to you and you mail yours to me so that we can't see for like a month, and then do that just for the sake of fun.
Yeah.
Super chat.
Zach Talk Tech, thanks for the super chat, man. We appreciate it again, dude. Hope that you are recovering. Wish you a speedy recovery, dude.
Yep.
It always sucks, man, when you hear people like in surgery or just having like a, having a moment in time to where, things aren't going great for them. Like it always sucks because like you've been in situations like that in terms of being in the hospital or whatever. And you just know that, like that moment sucks. So, I hate to see you going through that, man.
Yeah. And that's one of the things you take for granted too. Like, you're like, everything's great. Next thing you know, you're in the hospital and you're like, what? What do you mean what do you mean I need surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Travis MVP in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you stopping by. Travis here is actually the one that made this. This is Travis's thing right here.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Love that. So awesome. Yeah. Thanks again for that, dude.
The best part of that is that creaking
The chair
sound.
creak.
The chair creak. I just have this vision of Travis like as a really old dude with a big gray Gandalf beard sitting like in a dark castle type room with candles everywhere. No hood, just a cloak with a chandeliers, candelabra, I believe they're called. Just something you'd see like in the Addams Family. And he's just sitting back holding this ancient book with like this crazy Nimminati crest on it. And he just leans back. Welcome to the Nimminati. Creak. That's what I picture every time I hear that.
Nice.
So nailed it.
Super chat.
Insane McLean in the membrane. Huh?
I said that's.
Oh, you said that's the picture that you have in your mind?
Like legit. Yeah.
Insane McLean in the membrane says, what is the best video editing app for Android, even if it's a paid for app? D, this is your department?
KineMaster, hands down. No question about it.
Boom. What about KineMaster compared to VLLO? What would you say? What's your preference there, D?
Okay, so here's where KineMaster really should. Well, let me say this: all video editing apps at the basic level, do the same thing. Where KineMaster really shines, especially if you have the paid version of KineMaster, is they have asset library. The asset library allows you to download endless amounts of music and some amazing transitions, amazing filters, amazing effects. They have way more of that than any other app on the market right now. So if you're a paid user of KineMaster, the options that they give you, it's endless, absolutely endless. But if you can go with any of it, like you have to think about what do you need as a video editor, right? What do you need? What type of content are you making? If you don't need multiple layers, then you can get away with the most basic app possible. But if you need more advanced editing, maybe you need chroma key, maybe you want fancy transitions, yeah, then you're gonna have to step it up and get a better app.
Glue Guns N' Roses saying they love KineMaster.
KineMaster's great, yeah.
So one super chat that I missed here is from Damani Jennings saying, I got one more question. Can you still grow as a reaction channel in 2020 and monetize? I make basketball reaction videos like Ball is Life. So that's one of those things. I mentioned this earlier too, because somebody else asked that question in the forum. And that's one of the things to where, I don't know if it comes down to the reviewer or what, but some people are getting monetized for that type of content, just like the data visualization content. Some people are getting monetized for it, some people are not. And I'm not really sure exactly where that line is on if you can or cannot, because some people are getting it and some people are not. So just be mindful that when you are making content using other people's content, one, you might get yourself in the situation of a copyright claim or strike that you're going to have to deal with. Two, you also might risk not being able to monetize the channel as well. At least not be able to monetize it through YouTube ads. That doesn't mean that you can't monetize it in other ways. It just means that you can't monetize it through YouTube's partner program and be able to take advantage of channel memberships and super chats and your ad revenue and merch and, you know, all of that stuff that goes along with it. Okay, so next up on the list here, this is from our questions, this is from Art Boy. Art Boy says they're getting ready to start the channel. And the channel is about art, and the goal is to help people improve their art. And the goal, or the question is, how do I optimize my tags? So in terms of a hierarchy where you're thinking of yourself, okay, like what is the most important thing that I need to focus my energy on as a content creator, new or old? If you're just getting started today, or if you're going to start your channel tomorrow, or if you've been on YouTube for, you know, years, what's the hierarchy of things that I need to focus my attention on? So you want to think about when you are publishing your videos, you want to think about the timing of what it is you're publishing. You want to think about the topic of what it is that you're publishing. At the highest is the topic there. But you want to think about the topic that you're publishing and how big of a market there is for that particular topic. And you also want to think about like the activity that's happening around that particular topic at this point in time. So you want to look around when you're publishing your content, and this isn't just for search. You want to look around, you want to think, okay, I'm going to just look around. I'm going to manually search for content around the topic that I'm making. And when I search for that, I'm actually going to change my YouTube search filter to new instead of relevant. And I'm going to change it to new, and I'm going to see what type of activity is happening on all the new content that is going out on this particular topic. And if I see a lot of people that are getting views from this, then sure, this is a good topic to go for. But if nobody's getting views on it, because they're just making that content because, you know, maybe it's popular to make the content, but not necessarily to watch it, then in that situation, you know, you might not want to make that content. So from there, you want to think about the thumbnail of your video, because that's the biggest display. That's what's grabbing people's attention. Super important, because your click-through rate of your title and thumbnail are going to determine how many people are actually coming into the video. So you want to think about your title, your thumbnail, and then you want to think about your title, and you want to think about how those two work together. Your title and your thumbnail, they're a team, and they're trying to get you views. So you want to think about how can you enable that team that's trying to get you your views in the best possible way for the audience that is going to be presented that content. And then from there, you want to think about how can I make the best video possible that this audience would find satisfactory, so that when they do click on it, and because it's a good topic that a lot of people are interested in, they click on that topic, they come in, they start watching your video. You want to make sure that you're putting your videos together in a way that people enjoy, and you can use your analytics to figure that out through your audience retention reports. And then from there, you want to think about, what am I doing with my tags? Okay. So your tags give context to what's going on in your videos. They're becoming less and less important. However, they're still there, and they're still being used by YouTube, which means that you should still use them. They are still a part of the system. I just did an interview with Tom from Creator Insiders yesterday or 2 days ago, and one of the things that we were talking about is
he
exactly
coming back on the channel?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
So I have to download the original footage and then put it all together, send it to them for approval and all that stuff. But basically, one of the things that we were talking about is exactly what you're talking about, and it's the emphasis that people are putting on tags. And one of the things that he was saying is that they're not as important anymore. So you want to make sure that that box is there, use it. And then when it's not important at all, it'll be removed. So, and when it comes to optimizing for your tags, all you want to think about is, how do I put my tags together in a way that give context to what the video is about, that helps support the title that you've written for the video, and that helps support what the video is about and the description that you've written for the video. So the title is it's topically based. Your description is helping support the title and the thumbnail, and then your tags are helping support the description, the title, and the thumbnail as well. So that's what you want to think about when you are optimizing your tags and choosing what tags it is that you want to use for your videos.
So somebody just asked in the chat if I was your dad. So yeah,
that's funny. That probably makes you feel like garbage.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Nick's father. Nice to meet you. Nick was a good kid growing up. He was, he didn't turn into a wild one until he was about 15. But,
that's funny.
Yeah,
super funny. Mm-hmm. So looks like you need to get out in the sun more, D. If that's the case, if they're like, "Hey, you his dad," you need to get out in the sun more. Yeah. Or I need to grow up and start acting like an adult. One of the two.
It's
so there's one. Yeah. So there's one of those two things are going on right now. Yeah.
Right.
So
not to be confused with somebody who might call me daddy. Totally different.
So Internet Goose says I didn't understand a thing. Oh
Watch the
man,
replay until you understand it. What'd you do?
I just clicked out of the form like a smart person. D carry this. Oh, it went right back into the right place. Good. Okay. So next up we have mini cheesecake. So if you didn't understand anything that I just said, then you definitely want to make sure that you go through the YouTube Creator Academy. It's 100% free. It's put out by YouTube, and there's a link down in the description. It's free. I don't get any credit for sending you there or anything like that. I just want you to go there so that you can make sure that you are so that you can at least learn the base language of being a content creator, so that when you do participate in live streams like this, you can understand everything that's being talked about, because this is an industry just like any other industry. And with the industry, there, comes certain language sets that are a part of it. And as a content creator, if you want to, take this stuff seriously and you actually want to get results with what it is that you're doing, you need to be able to communicate in the language of the platform. So Mini Cheesecake is our next question. They upload when they have time, been on YouTube a year more. It's a gaming channel. The goal is to entertain people. And the question is, how do I make people notice my videos? Compelling titles, compelling thumbnails. That's how you get people to notice it. And then in terms of how do you get YouTube to show it to more people, they got to be able to click those titles and thumbnails, and then they have to enjoy your content. So that means they watch it for a fair amount of time. And you want to look at total watch time when it comes to the thing that you're looking at. I got that little tidbit recently, by the way, with our conversation. So TechVox
say that again.
Says that they upload videos when they have time.
The part about the total watch time.
Oh yeah, you want to focus on total watch time.
Total watch time.
Yep, the amount of watch time that you're getting. So like we were talking about before, D, with that 70%, how you hadn't gotten a 70%, or how you have some videos with
Good.
With with like lower watch time, like that 70% becomes irrelevant if you're getting like a 7 minute, 7 minutes on your video, for example. So you want to think about how much total watch time am I getting for every single impression that I'm getting on YouTube. They upload when they have time. Tech and other designing related stuff is the type of channel. The goal of the channel is I'm teaching people how to create better content just by using a mobile phone. D, we got a competitor. We've got a competitor. Says, I want to Dana me my channel name. Hold on. I want to Dana me my channel name as Lokesh Pal, and it's my name. I have no idea what it is, what the actual question, and it's not because you're a competitor.
What? No.
No. Like, look, I'll share my screen. Look.
Who is it?
Okay, so this is what we're working with. So I want to Dana me my channel name as Lokeshi Pal, and it's my name. So I'm not sure.
His channel name. He wants to change his channel name, maybe.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to change your channel name to your name, Yeah, absolutely. You are more than, more than welcome to change your channel name on your YouTube channel without question. Hey, what's up, Penny? Welcome to the live stream. Salt Lake City, what's up? Nice to see you in this stream as well. I know you've been here. I've seen it scroll through. I just haven't had a chance to say hey yet. Hey, Grabster, what's up, dude? Nice to see you here too. What are you going to say,
D? The cool thing about using your name as your channel name is you're not pinned into any particular thing. So let's say, today Nick is making YouTube content about how to grow your YouTube channel, right? How to do all these things for YouTube. But 4 years from now, 5 years from now, there could be a pivot. There could be a new platform that's bigger and better than YouTube, or Nick could change directions. If he had a channel that was called, YT Growth Tips, he's kind of pinned into that unless he changes the channel name. But as Nick Nimmin, he's free to do whatever he wants, pivot anytime that he wants. And that's one of the
I could turn this puppy into a vlog of me just sitting in a chair every day.
Yeah.
Just sitting here like this. This would be the vlog. This is literally the vlog right here. Ready? Every day.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah.
You would see me come in, sit down, coffee, sit here like this, maybe, run to the bathroom a few times. At the end of the day, you'd see me go over and play Fortnite with my girlfriend, and then I would go to bed. So that's pretty much the routine. Sounds great, doesn't it? Sounds exciting. Living the life over here, huh?
The other thing is people get to know your name. They get to know your name. So if you show up on someone else's live stream, if you go on a podcast, if somebody writes about you, like you can
personal brand is really strong.
Right?
Yeah,
personal brand. So there's something to be said about that.
Super chat.
Josephine, thanks for the super chat. Josephine says, petition for D to adopt me so I can legally call him daddy without it being weird, I think. Okay. We'll go ahead and get those papers written up. They'll be in your mailbox here, in no time flat.
Super chat.
Real Truth and Power says, should I do more trendy topics to get views? Absolutely. In my opinion, you should. That's kind of the idea with trends. So there's a tool called Google Trends that will actually help you be able to identify things that are trending in your space or just globally. So the cool thing about using trends is it gives you a general idea of just the general interest overall. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's on fire. It just has to be something that just overall is getting attention or that people are generally interested in. So you can even see like trend lines to where you can see if the interest in that topic is going up or the interest in that topic is going down, so that you can make the call on, hey, this is something that's rising right now. It might be rising steeply, or the interest could be rising over time, like over the last 6 months or 12 months, it just keeps on climbing, and you think it might keep climbing. Make some content on that thing. So without question, like if you can make content on trending stuff, or if you can just confirm that the things that you are making content about are things that people are interested in, then yeah, absolutely, that's what you want to make sure that you do.
Super chat.
Blue Guns and Roses, thank you for the super chat as well. Saying, I'm finally going to buy a real camera. Dun, 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 dun. Is there still a way to still edit with KineMaster on my phone or use it on a desktop or tablet? I'm already scared about learning how to use a camera. Changing the way I film and edit at the same time is too scary. So, D?
Yeah, so if I understand correctly, he wants to shoot with a camera and import the footage into KineMaster. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you can still do that. Did they say they also have a desktop as well? Because they're going to have to get the footage into the phone, which means you might need to get a card reader to plug it into your phone.
So it depends on the app that you have. So if you're using a Sony, if you're using a Sony, you can use their app and you can actually pull the videos directly to your phone. So with a Sony,
I think Canon has something similar, I think.
Oh, do they?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that might even be common now. I'm not sure because like with the Sonys, I've used it. But basically with that, you connect the Sony to your phone, and then you can just have the option. You'll see the list, and you can just download them directly. So then you would have them in your phone, and then you'd be able to use them, however you wanted that way, or on your tablet, either one, which would probably be easier to edit on. I'm not sure.
I will say this, though, when you're pulling footage in from a camera, depending on the format that you're shooting in, the encoding that goes on inside of the camera, some apps do have a problem with that. So if you find that KineMaster can't see your files, you might have to actually encode them to a different file format before you pull them into KineMaster. So it's just something to be aware of. If you pull them in and they don't work, there's ways around it. Hit me up. If that happens, if you pull the footage in and you can't get it to work inside of KineMaster, hit me up. We'll figure something out.
There we go.
Super chat.
The Roderick Gang says, hey, thanks to whoever asked that question about family YouTube. You just got a lot of my question answered. By the way, I also use TubeBuddy to help me. Very cool. You know, like that's a really cool thing about these live streams, in my opinion, is that for the people that are hanging out here, it's like, you know, you might have a question answered that you didn't even know that you had, which is pretty cool. So that's, you know, that's a cool side effect for, you know, hanging out or at least listening to it in the background while you're doing other stuff is, you know, if you have a channel that is kind of, you know, if it's a channel that's kind of like a common type of channel, like a family niche, for example, then just listening to it in the background while you're doing other stuff. And then when you hear, oh, family channel, they're talking about family channels, I better pay attention. You know, like that kind of stuff is one of the cool advantages of you know, just hanging out in the stream.
Super chat.
Costume CEO Heidi saying that you are amazing. Thank you, Heidi, for that. I'm sure you're talking about D because he's the amazing one out of us two. I'm sure you're talking about D in this situation.
Heidi's the amazing one.
Heidi is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still processing like that we got to
that you're able to talk to what's his name again?
Roger Christian.
Yeah, that you're able to talk to Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's huge.
So
like that was so cool. I just want to stop for a second and just talk about that because that's so cool. That one, that she got the opportunity to do that, but two, like how awesome of that was that of her to like reach out and like pull you into that conversation as well. That was such an awesome, cool thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, Heidi has a channel. She talks about movie costumes and that sort of thing. And she hits me up one day and she says, this is really happening. She got in contact with the original Star Wars set designer. He's the guy who he created the lightsaber and R2-D2 and the Millennium Falcon and all this stuff. And we got to interview him for an hour. That was just like, I wanted to fanboy out so much, but I did my best.
You held it together.
Inside though, I was like, you know, I was like a 10-year-old kid again, just like jumping around, like, you know, that was amazing. Just
imagine if it would have been Gene Simmons, right?
Yeah.
Super chat.
Tube Spanner Danielle, what is up? Tube Spanner Danielle says, can anyone think of another use for multi-purpose compost other than growing plants? I think this is your department, D.
Multi-purpose composting other than plants?
Yep.
No.
This is a let's throw a wrench. Tube Spanner, get it? Throw a wrench in the conversation.
I mean,
literally tube spanner wrench. She literally threw a wrench right in the conversation. That was so good. That's clever, you know, at like a way up here level.
I mean, that's why you do it, isn't it? For fertilizer.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So just as a heads up, everybody, so Tube Spanner, and you're going to be seeing this a lot in my videos as well. I've already mentioned it in a few videos because it's a really cool tool. But Tube Spanner is a workflow tool for content creators. Definitely, when you get the chance, go to tubespanner.com and check out Tube Spanner. And she didn't give me this, like she's a friend of mine. She didn't give me that for the sake of like mentioning Tube Spanner, but I'm just bringing it to your attention anyway, just because she brought it to mind while we're talking. But definitely check out Tube Spanner as a content creator, especially as a new content creator. You'll get tons of value out of it. She's got like script templates in there to where literally it works you through writing out templates, really and you can see by the word count like a ballpark of how long it's going to take you to get through the video, so that you can make sure that you're filling things out for a right video length and things like that. Thumbnail builder, like all kinds of really, really cool stuff in there that'll bring tons of benefit to you as a content creator. And as
it
well,
works on your phone. It works on your phone too.
Yeah, and you can use it on your phone as well.
Responsive. Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Danielle with Tube Spanner, welcome to the Nimminati. Also, make sure Danielle, you're already in the Facebook group, so you're already there. So I won't go through the spiel of make sure you join the Facebook group because you're already there.
Super chat.
Poke Rev says, can you make a channel member community post based on membership level, or will community posts be seen by every member no matter the tier they choose? Yeah, you can do it at the tier level. So you can say that it's only going to people at this particular tier. You can do that without question.
We have an imposter. We have an Dan Nimmin is in the chat. Our brother Dan.
Hey, what's up, Dan? Nice to see you here. Or imposter Dan, one of the two.
I think it's imposter Dan because this guy doesn't look like our brother. So
okay. I'll be checking out Dan right here in a second. Stat Billion says, how does using Facebook possibly work against my channel as a small YouTuber? I post my videos there all the time. This might work against me. So here's what you want to do. Inside of your YouTube channel, you can go into your stats. I can actually show you this right now because I'm not logged into my like I don't have to be logged into my YouTube channel since we're going through StreamYard. So give me 1 second. I'm actually going to show you something. So I'm going to log into, because I have, you know, I don't go into stats of my personal, like this channel, because, you know, competitors, you know, watch this, and I don't want, you know, I got to keep my competitive edge. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to show you.
I show all of your competitors your data. So
I know you do. Yeah, I know you do. Yeah, I'm just not going to do it here on the stream. Huh?
Yeah, I show everybody. Anybody who wants to buy Nick's data, $5.99. I do take that out.
$5.99, sharing Google spreadsheets. Okay. Yeah. So if we click on this See More tab here, if you're inside of your stats, this is on a old channel that I had, all our questions. This is kind of where I cut my teeth on YouTube, so to speak. But what you can do is you can actually go into the traffic source report on your YouTube channel. And then inside of the traffic source report, if you see the external here, you can click on this. And then when you're in that external, you can scroll down and you can see the different platforms that you're pulling traffic from. So one of the really awesome things about this is, like in this situation, we have Facebook on here, and this is over the last 28 days, but we have Facebook on here. And out of the 25 views that came in from Facebook, which you can tell, this is how many views are coming from that platform, you'll see that those Facebook users watch the video on average for about 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Now, you can also look at this at the video level as well, because I'm just looking at it at the channel as a whole, so we can just do it quickly. But you can also go into individual videos that you're sharing on Facebook, or that you're sharing on Twitter, or that you're sharing wherever, and you can use this information to see how effective it is. So you can say, these are the views that I'm getting here. This is how much watch time I'm getting. But at the most important level, how long are people actually watching when they're coming in from Facebook? Because one of the things that happens is people will share their content on Facebook, but they're sharing it in front of the wrong people. They're sharing it in like YouTube groups, or they're sharing it in places, and they're doing things like, hey, let me get your opinion on this video. You know, what would you change about this video? And they're trying to be clever so that they can get people to go over and watch their videos. I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but a lot of people will do this. And what you can do is you can just come in and you can see how are people actually responding to the videos that I'm sharing there. And if you are doing it the correct way, where you're putting your videos in front of the right audiences, the people that are actually qualified to view what it is that you know, they would actually be a good fit for your audience, then you can come in here and you can make sure that they are a good fit for the people that are coming over. And you can also make sure that all of the time that you're spending over on Facebook trying to get people to leave Facebook and come over to YouTube, that you can make sure that all that time that you're spending there is time that is well spent. And it's not time that you're just wasting because nobody's coming over, or those people that are coming over, they're not watching the videos for that long. So so that's how you can identify within your stats how people are watching. And D, while we're in here, how we were talking about the audience retention before.
Yes.
Really quick, let me get these other super chats, and then we'll do it. So so really quick, Michael Daniels, I got your email, by the way. I'll be responding to that. I'll be responding to that soon. He says, I would love to have you guys on our game show. I'm going to do it because I think it would be fun. D, he wants you on there as well. So I'm not sure if you'll hop on there also, but I'm definitely going to. So just wanted to let you know that. And there was another super chat that came in as well, and I will get to that. Oh, Salt Lake City says, I'll take that data. Salt Lake City, yeah, data sold. Yep, $5.99 to D for the data there.
Hey man,
but one of the funny things, let me find that AM PM video. What are you gonna say, D?
Everybody said get a side hustle. So selling your data is my side hustle.
So yeah, so if I click into the AM and PM, one of the things that you want to look at when you are in your audience retention, how I was talking about, or how Dee was actually talking about earlier, how you want to make sure that you are not like, you know, ending your videos and, you know, before, like you're not ending your videos prematurely, is if you look right here, you can see this right here is where I told them exactly what it is that they came into that video for, right here in that particular section. And then the entire rest of the video, people just slowly started bailing. You know, interesting information, but you know, the thing that they actually came in here for was this. So so that's where, you know, people bailed in that particular situation. So you want to make sure that you keep them holding, or you just finish the video. What I should have done there is I should have switched the structure around, but you know, I'm cutting my teeth here. I'm trying to figure it out. So what I should have done there is I should have switched the structure around to where the to where like all of the other information that I told about why, using time formats and different things is important, based on accuracy and things like that. I should have put that more towards the front of the video and then had the actual AM and PM meaning a little bit further back in the video so that I could get more, so I could get more watch time. All
Look,
right.
You've come a long way, man. Standing in the room there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is. And you know what? Like like that scene, I actually watched that video and I really like that video a lot. Like I went and I just watched some of the videos last night because I was on the channel and like, man, I had so much fun making that content and I learned so much making that content. Like that was a really cool side effect of that channel was all of the learning. Like I was learning so much about all kinds of just weird and different stuff. It was awesome. Let's see here as we are looking through. Okay. So the next question that we have, we're going to jump back into the forum here. Next question that we have is from Ash Phillips, and they upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than a month. It's a police channel, and the goal is to get 10,000 subscribers. Does having good tags and a good description matter on your videos? So at the highest level, and we talked about this a little bit before. Hey, Roger Wakefield in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you stopping by.
Roger,
hope that you
how
are
you
doing
doing,
well.
brother?
But at the highest level, when you are thinking of, the things that are going to actually move the needle for you, thumbnail, title, video content itself. Of course, topic as well. So topic, thumbnail, video topic. Those are like the things that you got to make sure that are always at the top of your mind. When it comes to the description is great. It gives additional context. It's also Google food. In addition to that, it's also a great place where you can put links to additional content. It's a place where you can put a link for people to subscribe to your channel. It's a place where you can put affiliate links and, additional context about just what you do on your channel, that sort of thing. Your tags are great for just giving additional context to what's going on as well. So you also want to keep using that until YouTube takes those away, because the moment that they don't matter 100%, they'll be gone because that'll just be taking up space on the platform. It's another feature they have to maintain, that sort of thing. So until it doesn't matter anymore, you still want to make sure that you are, you still want to make sure that you're using it.
Yeah, tags are not going to move the needle. They're great
Right.
for helping YouTube clarify what your video is about. If there's commonly misspelled words, if there's different phrases that can be used to connect to what it is, whatever it's in your title, whatever's in your description, if there's different ways to say it, a different order of the words, misspellings, that sort of thing. Put your name in there, your channel name.
That sort of stuff.
Super chat.
Ash Phillips, thanks for the super chat. Mr. XD Zombie says they upload when they have time, been on YouTube less than 6 months. It's a gaming channel. Goals to give content to my viewers and because I enjoy it. Says, how long on average would it take somebody to reach 1,000 subscribers so they can be monetized? I have a video about this. So I have a video on my channel about how many videos on average it takes people to get to different subscriber milestones. How many did it take to get to 1,000 subscribers, 10,000, 50,000, I think 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 and 1,000,000, I think, are the breakdowns that I give. But it's different for every channel. So that video that I share, it's averages across the platform, so that you can just get kind of like a rough idea. But, one creator will publish a video today. There's somebody on YouTube right now that is hitting the publish button as we're having this conversation. And when they wake up tomorrow, they'll have 1,000 subscribers. And it's their very first video. So that's happening to somebody right now. And there's also somebody else that's publishing a video that's going to be crickets, and it's going to take them a year or 2 years in order to generate 1,000 subscribers on their channel.
Or 5.
Or 5. Yeah. So it's different for the content creator. It's different for the actual content, or I mean, like every content creator, we're all different. We all do different things. We take different approaches, all that. The content is all different. The people that those videos are getting put in front of are also different. So because of that, we all have different experiences when it comes to growth, but there are, without question, there are things that every single one of us can do to accelerate the growth that we are getting on our YouTube channel. Yeah, Roberto also mentions the thing with the tags is that they can also impact your AdSense a bit with classifications also.
Yeah, good.
So next question that we have is, nope, we did zombie. Piano Fox, cool name. It's a music channel. Says, I want to share music that isn't as popular with people. Says, what parts of a thumbnail are important on making it clickable? D?
What was the question? They want to make music that's not
How do you make
popular?
clickable thumbnails? Yeah, what are some best practices? Because of course, you know, they need to test it for the audience they're being served to, or the viewers they're being served to. But what is it? What are some best practices when it comes to thumbnails?
Best practices, I would say, first and foremost, make sure that everything is completely understandable in your thumbnail, or it's compelling in some way and it makes sense while looking at it on your phone. That means using a font, using a text that's bold and very easy to read. Keep in mind contrast too. So if you have a dark background, you probably don't want to put a dark text on there because you're not going to see it. So think in terms of contrast to make your you don't have to put text on the thumbnail. It's something you're going to have to test for your channel to see what works best. A lot of channels do well without text. I do better with text in my thumbnails. One thing that I do is I look at competitive videos. I put my title into YouTube and I look at all the videos that come up. And I say, okay, what can I do to make my thumbnail look to stand out amongst those thumbnails? And you'll see a lot of times I use just really big, bold green text because that's the absolute opposite of what other people are using. So that's my strategy. You can try putting yourself in the video as well. There's some best practice data that says that faces, sometimes actually it's faces get clicked on more faces get clicked on even more. So those are things that you're gonna have to test out as well. But first, make sure it looks good on a phone. Big, bold, easy to read text if you're going to put text on your thumbnail. That's what I would say to start with.
Yeah, you want to make sure that everything looks good on a phone.
Yeah, everything, right? If
everything, because that's where most of the traffic is coming from on YouTube. So you want to make sure that you want to make sure that you're giving yourself that chance, right? Because if that's where a majority of the traffic is coming from on YouTube, or the majority of viewership on the phone, or watch time happening on the phone, that's where, you got to make sure you're catering to that.
I see a lot of people making the mistake of using fancy cursive fonts, curly looking fonts, and you don't know what they say. They're real thin. You're looking at them on a phone. You're like, I have no idea what's going on. You have seconds to get the viewer's attention. So do that however you think of it this way. You're throwing bait into the water. Your bait needs to be delicious. If you put just plain old bait in there, the same bait that everybody else has, you're not going to get noticed. So you need the best bait that shows up into the water to make sure you get the fish. There's my weird analogy of the day.
Boom.
Boom.
So really quick, Faye, this is not that kind of stream, just as a heads up. We're not, it's not like a subscribe exchange or anything like that. It's not that type of stream. So basically, like the people here, like we're teaching about YouTube and how to get real results on YouTube, and getting real results on YouTube. You're not going to get real results from doing like a subscribe exchange or anything like that. Just as a heads up, you'll get some inflated numbers, but it's ultimately going to end up hurting your channel because the people that are subscribing aren't going to click on your videos because they don't care about the content. So when YouTube shows it to them, they're not going to click, and it's going to hurt your click-through rate, which is going to cause your videos to perform even worse instead of growing your channel, which is what you're trying to do. So what you want to do is you want to, go through the process of learning how to actually grow the channel without using those types of tactics. And don't sweat it. A lot of people make that mistake because they don't know when they're first starting. But I just saw your message that got deleted by the mods, and I just want to bring that to your attention and let you know that that's the wrong approach. If you want to get real results on YouTube, I know you want to grow your subscribers. That's what everybody wants as a content creator. But you can't do that by trying to get people to come over and subscribe because you super chatted and like that kind of thing. So I just wanted to let you know that because that was kind of the angle that it seemed like with what you mentioned. I could be wrong. I could be making that mistake. But that just seemed like the angle that you were taking. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Now on the thumbnail thing, I want to share this because I shared this in the members only Facebook group as well. So one of the thumbnails that I'm testing right now, which is like a little bit on brand, but it's mostly off brand, is I'm testing this because I am, I have a thumbnail, it's doing okay, but it can definitely be better. And I just want to experiment a little bit. And basically, I just want to explain because he did ask that question. Don't know what's going to be seen there.
You lost it.
Yeah, hold on really quick because I accidentally rotated the mouse, and that could have been really bad depending on what's on my desktop here. Hold on.
As long as you don't have my pictures on there, you'll be fine.
Then it doesn't matter.
Then it doesn't matter. Right.
Love it. Here, I wonder if I click like edit, if that'll let me do it. That's funny. I'll click draw. Then maybe that'll help keep me from. Okay, there we go. That's safe. Okay. So, so basically the idea here with this thumbnail, I just want to explain this a little bit and explain the thought that went into it. And I don't know if this one's going to be a winner or if it's going to lose, because this one is being compared next to or being tested against, a thumbnail with my face, and it's got, the typical normal text that I put on my thumbnails and things like that, a big expression on it. But what I'm experimenting with right here is this is an app video. And what I did in this situation is basically I have a phone on here just because it's app based, right? So I'm trying to grab the attention of people that are using, that are interested in putting apps in their phone, especially content creators. And I have the YouTubers right here as my audience identifier. It's really big and it's red, and it pulls the most attention from what it is on the thumbnail. So if a YouTuber, if you happen to see this, then you know that this video is for you without question. And then you might either click on it by knowing that by itself, or you might read the title and go in that way. But a couple of things that I did here that I want to bring your attention to is, one, I have the phone in there so that people can, so it's related to apps, in terms of your brain. I have the audience identifier there in terms of it, it pulling your attention and knowing that it's for you. In the design itself, I have this angled line here in the background as well, so that in light mode, it's not a perfect blend with the light mode background, but it's pretty close. But having that light background there is also going to give it kind of like a 3D effect to help it kind of stand off. And it's also going to push kind of like the platform into the thumbnail a little bit, which will help the phone stand off, at least from the screenshots that I did. That's how it works. And then the dark here is, of course, to help the text in the middle stand out off of the dark background. All of the angled lines are there so that if I'm going up against any, like a lot of content creators will just do the straight stuff because it's easy. So all of the lines here are just a little bit angled so that it'll help stand out against that as well. The text is big and bold and easy to read, and basically tells what's in the thumbnail, as well as the 10. And you'll also notice that there's a little bit of a gradient here in the middle. So it goes from dark on the outside to light here in the middle, which is kind of pulling people in. It's like vignetting, right? It's kind of pulling people into the apps for YouTubers, which through the stream, I'm not sure if you can see the detail or not, but you'll be able to see it on the channel page. But you'll see this one rotating through the through that particular video here over the next few days. But when you're putting your thumbnails together, you want to put that kind of thought into what it is that you're making, right? And the reason you want to put that thought in there is because you don't want to just put a thumbnail together and just throw it out there for the sake of having a thumbnail. You want to think it through, and you want to think, okay, if this pops up, where do I want people's attention to go? And in this situation, I want them to go to YouTubers because that's my thing for pulling in YouTubers to my YouTube channel, right? Because that's who I'm targeting. So I want people to see YouTubers. You also see that I toned down the gradient right here as well to where it's like really bright over here, but then it gets a little bit darker because that red was a little bit overbearing in this situation on that black background. So I just use this to kind of tone it down just a tad. And then of course I use the drop shadows all over the place for the sake of, just kind of making it, pop out a little bit. So I'm not sure if it's going to perform better than the current one or not, but I just wanted to explain the thought process behind it, just so that you can get an idea of, how to think about, when you're, how to think about your thumbnails and when you're putting them together, and how you're kind of focusing people on different things.
When you're making thumbnails, for those of you who are trying to figure out your thumbnail strategy and how can I get noticed, you have to keep this in mind. Your thumbnail needs to be the one that gets attention. Your thumbnail is going to make or break your video. You're not going to get any views if your thumbnails don't get any clicks. So spend a lot of time, not only making the thumbnails, but study other thumbnails. Type in different topics related to your channel and look at what competitors do, and think about, okay, these videos are they have the most views. Look at them. What is it about them? If you study other people's work, don't copy it, study it. And eventually, through trial and error, through practicing, you'll figure out your own thumbnail strategy. And you'll learn what's going to get your audience to click on them. It's
another thing with that too,
that everybody has to go through.
Another thing with that too is you'll notice in that particular thumbnail that I also used a Android device. And the reason that I use the Android device is because I'm familiar with my stats. And I could have used an iPhone because I used placeit.net in order to, and I got a link to them down in the description for that mock-up of the phone. And they have tons of iPhone stuff in there, but I use the Android because a majority of my viewership comparatively is Android users. So because of that, I used an Android device so that it would resonate more with that audience as well, so that they wouldn't be turned off if they saw the iPhone. So, so it's important to look at your stats and use that information when you are, designing your thumbs and making your titles and even making your content.
Your thumbnail has one job and one job only: get clicked.
Yep.
So don't clickbait them. You have to deliver, right? So make sure that whatever you put in your thumbnail, you actually back that up in your video, because you don't want to clickbait them. But in terms of getting their attention, make it outrageous, or go the opposite. Sometimes if everybody else is outrageous, sometimes you need to go the simple route. So just try to be the one that stands out. That's how you.
Brian G. Johnson's doing that right now. Like he'll do like he's going the ultra simple route. He'll do, like just a red thumbnail with just like simple text on it. And it's not like corny looking, like it's done very well to where it like still looks like it might be a quality experience for the viewer, but it's just super simple. So he's just taking a minimalistic approach to the thumbnail, but it's super effective for him.
Super chat.
He's doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing.
Right.
That's.
Salt Make City says, thanks for your help on the thumbnails. My latest is my first attempt at some of your advice. Awesome to see you applying the information.
Super
Salty
chat.
Malric says, hey, I got a comment on my video. I thank them for the comment, but no subs. After the video is posted for one day, it goes ghost. I only post once a week. So when you leave a comment, when somebody leaves a comment on your video and you reply to that comment, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to subscribe. Of course, you're increasing your chances of them subscribing, but just because you reply doesn't mean that they're going to subscribe. People subscribe because of the value they get from what it is that you're doing. So that's either the value of the video that they're currently watching, they check out your past library of all the content that you've made, and they identify that, hey, this is a source of content that I love to watch, or that I want to learn from, or whatever type of content you make. So they have an entire library of content based on stuff that I'm interested in. I'm subscribing for that reason. And then of course, as part of that, you also have what it is that they think they're going to get from you with your content as well in the future. So you have to make sure that you're fulfilling all of those things when it comes to converting the people that are watching your videos into subscribers. Also, in some cases, depending on your content, your ratio could be very high. So in some cases, somebody might be able to convert people a lot faster, or with a lot less views than with other types of content where, depending on how you're putting everything together, it might take you more views in order to actually convert a subscriber over as well. So just because you put out a video doesn't mean that people are necessarily going to respond to it. You have to make sure that what it is that you're doing, that there's enough value attached to it that will encourage people to subscribe to it. And as a heads up, that value, just so you know, it can be that you just made somebody laugh, right? They found you entertaining. That's value, because you are helping lift somebody up. That's the value they're getting, is like, you're funny, you're entertaining. Or, maybe you make somebody think in a different way. You challenge them in some way to where, maybe you're talking about something controversial, something that goes against the way that they think, and you're opening their mind up to new ideas. That's value as well. So we all interpret value differently, but you have to be able to identify what it is that the value that you're providing in your content, because if you can't identify that value, then your subscribers are not going to be able to, or the viewers are not going to be able to identify it. And then therefore they won't subscribe to what it is that you're doing.
Super chat.
The Tarantula Collective says, I want to try out the A/B thumbnail test. Would the cost for that level of TubeBuddy be justified with the return on investment for a channel of 34,000? Yes. Yeah, so if you have 34,000 on your subscribers on your channel, yeah, without question. So check it out. Also, you can cancel at any time. So one thing that you can do if you're wanting to experiment with the A/B test thing is try it out, test it, and run, you can run a bunch of tests at one time. So you can go in, you can upgrade for that package, you can run all the tests that you want, and then based on all the information that you get from that, you'll want to stay, after you see the reports that you get and you start making those changes, you'll want to stay a part of that package, so you can continually do that with every video. But go in there, test it out, and then after you get those results, if you wanted to, you can actually go in and run those tests, and then degrade your package to a lower package, and then, go for, another 30 days, and then, upgrade it to do a bunch more tests. And, like you could go back and forth if you want to. But once you get that ball rolling, I'm sure you'll want to just maintain it. It's just easier that way. All right. Next question that we have on our list is, did I answer the piano one? I think I did. Let me back up really quick. I want to make sure. Got to make sure that I answered the piano. What parts of a thumbnail? Yeah, we got that one. Okay. So maker tails. Another thing that I want to mention also when it comes to best practices on thumbnails is you also want to make sure that you're considering like timestamps, mobile viewership. If you are looking at if somebody sees your thumbnail, it's really small in a thumbnail in the sidebar, can they identify what it is that you're trying to bring attention to? So as an example, if you are highlighting on an object, let's say you're doing a review of a product, then can they clearly see at a small size that, that thing that would pull them into that particular product as an example. So you got to make sure of those things as well. So next up, we have Maker Tales. Maker Tales says they've been on YouTube for a year or more. They make maker and DIY content. You would probably like this channel. And the goal of the channel is helping others on their maker journey. The question is, I fear that new YouTube chapters that I'm adding to my videos will lower my overall watch time as it makes it easier to skip through the video. Do you think this is going to be the case? If not, why? I think that, I do think that might be the case. But I think that at the higher level of this, I think that it'll help people be more satisfied with your content, which is what YouTube ultimately wants, which will help YouTube actually end up showing your content to more people because they're able to get out of your content exactly what it is that they specifically want out of what it is that you are putting out. Now, with the chapters feature, that is something that you should definitely test. And you can use the grouping feature inside of YouTube, and you can run, like the next 10 videos that you do, you can go through and you can make sure that you're adding chapters to them, make that one group, and then compare them against videos of similar views on videos that don't have chapters, and you can compare those two against each other, and you can actually see which ones are driving the most watch time. So you can see, at scale, which ones are, which way or which using the feature or not using the feature, if it's benefiting you or working against you. So you can definitely be able to see that.
Yeah, as a viewer, I appreciate them a lot.
It's cool. Yeah,
I appreciate them a lot. And something that I've been hearing this recently on the Creator Insider channels, and I've heard Todd talking about it, and I've seen a couple other YouTube videos specifically by YouTube, and they keep talking about viewer satisfaction.
Yes.
Like that's something new that they've recently started ramping up, that whole viewer satisfaction thing. Yep. So that tells me that they're obviously trying to measure somehow how satisfied are the viewers when they're finished watching your video. So as a viewer, I'm very satisfied by those markers. I don't know how it's going to affect watch time long term. I don't know, but I appreciate it when somebody adds them in there.
I think another thing that's going to do on the creator side is I think that, hey, Adventures in Dirt, nice to see you swinging by. I think that another thing that's going to highlight for content creators is I think that people are going to start noticing that, wait a minute, people are just skipping past this entire section of my video. And it's going to start bringing to people's attention things like intros and, like that sort of thing that, people don't really come into the video for. And it's also going to help you identify as a content creator. It's going to help you identify the things that your viewers care about. Because, with that, you'll be like, hey, every video that I make and I'm talking about this thing, people are skipping to that thing. So I need to make sure that I'm making videos about that thing, or I'm at least including that thing in all my videos because people are digging it, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Super chat.
I think using it as a tool to figure out what they're interested in is a really smart way to do it, because it's telling you, it's telling you directly, like, hey, they didn't care about your intro. They didn't care about what you said at the beginning. They came straight for the information at this particular point. Because you can see,
especially if you're doing like review content and things like that, then you can start identifying. You can use the chapters to start identifying the actual things about all the products that you review, the actual things that are the most important to your specific viewers, the people that are watching your content. You can find out if they care about the tech more, if they care about, the size of it more, if they care about the cost of it more. You'll be able to start identifying the things that really matter to the people that are watching your videos. I'm going to start using them too in some of my content, like my list videos and stuff. I haven't started adding them yet, but I'm going to start.
I've added it to a few. I've added a couple that says like, tutorial starts here, sorts of things. I'm just testing out some things. And I just completely forgot what I was going to say.
They also, a side bonus for
I got it,
chapters that people aren't considering as well is that they show up in Google also. So basically Google is indexing those chapters. And since Google is indexing those chapters, then they're showing those, and people can actually click in Google the specific thing that they're interested in, and they can come right in on that chapter. So it's like a little mini video within a video chapter. So that's a really cool thing too, that you can, make sure that you are leveraging.
Here's what I know. When YouTube and Google gives us tools, we should try to use them to see how well it, or maybe it won't affect your channel at all. But if they're like, hey, here's some new tools, it's worth exploring because it might make a difference. Just like Nick said, like these things are showing up now in Google specifically, and they're fast forwarding right to that particular marker, and you press it and it plays midway through your video. That's important, and that can be really powerful if you use that correctly.
Yeah.
And
Mike
actually,
Phillips.
that brings up a, hey, Mike.
Really quick,
Super
says
chat.
this is towards D's plane ticket home to the studio, or maybe M&M's in the airport.
Man, here's the thing.
It's probably going to be a while.
I reached out to M&M's looking for a full travel sponsorship. I'm like, hey guys, how about I fly the M&M plane from Mexico back to Thailand? They didn't reply. They didn't reply. So
A sponsored escape package.
And a sponsored escape package from Mexico. Here's something I didn't think of until just now. If Google, and I would love to hear your opinion on this, and Roberto, if he's still in the chat, I would love to hear his input as well. So if Google is showing that, would it be fair to say then that Google is also looking at the text that goes with that marker? So is it looking for keywords that you type? So if it's like here at 30 seconds, instead of just writing something random, should you strategically write what that is and put your keywords in there? Because is that how they're processing this?
I'm not sure if that's how they're processing it, but that's
Does
the
that make
approach
sense?
that's the approach that you should take without question. Because okay, here's the thing, when you're doing that sort of thing, it's twofold. And the reason it's twofold is because you have like the, how are their crawlers reading it side of things, but then you also have when people see it, how are they going to respond to it? So let's say, for example, that you hopped on Google right now and you typed in like, DIY coffee cup printing, okay, or we'll just say coffee cup printing. And then you have a video about like 10 places or 10, things to keep in mind when you're coffee cup printing. And the thing that you care about and the reason that you're looking for that content is because you're trying to find like the best place to print. And then you see in that thing that it's like, oh, best place to print, best places to have your coffee cup printed, then right there in your brain, if that's what you're actually looking for when you're looking for that, then you're going to be like, oh, this is what I'm looking for. And so by using, those keywords, then what you're doing is you're actually keywording for brains in addition to, all of the different, algorithms and all that stuff to know what, those sections are, but you're keywording for people and their brains and how they think about things and look for things, more than you're actually doing it for the systems themselves. Because when those people start responding to those things, then that's what makes the systems be like, oh, people are responding to this, let's show it to more people, because it's a good fit.
Yeah, and for those of you wondering how you can tell if people are skipping around, go to your audience retention report. And normally you're going to see just a smooth slope with some gradual drop-offs. You might see a couple spikes here or there. But what you're going to see if people are using your chapters, but by chapters we mean if you type your timestamps into your description, it's going to show up in particular areas under the actual video and show the viewer that you can skip along to different parts of the video.
Yes.
But what you want to look at is if you look at your audience retention report, if you start seeing these spikes, it's coming down, it's sloping down, then you start seeing these spikes coming back up. Those are people skipping around. So that's what you want to look at.
Yes.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
JQ Diaries, next time you are on Facebook, make sure you look for Nimminati VIP. That's our members only Facebook group. That's where we live stream. I've got some free stuff in there for you. That's also a place where you can ask questions and that sort of thing. So make sure that you do that. I actually have that Facebook group as part of my open up sequence when I open up my browser, because I have a bunch of tabs that open every time I open my browser. And that one's, one of the first tabs that opens so that I can make sure I'm checking in there every day, answering questions, that kind of stuff. So make sure that you join that group. Also check the community feed here, because there's some stuff here in the community feed on the members only side of the community feed for you as well.
Roberto's going to come in. He's going to talk about the chapters thing. Roberto, yeah, bring it.
Yeah, dude, bring it. Yeah, of course, dude. Come on in. Yep.
When Roberto speaks, I listen.
Mm-hmm. While we're waiting for Roberto to come in, we've got Math Lang. Math Lang says that they do education content, and the goal is to help others get educated. And the question is, when I add an alert box in Streamlabs, it does not work. Please help. So, D, any suggestions to that?
They're adding the alert box on Streamlabs. I'm guessing the desktop version, and it's not working. You probably want to make sure that everything is turned on. Streamlabs,
and you're logged into the right account.
Yeah, make sure you're logged into the right account and go into your settings. Make sure that all the bots are turned on and everything's actually activated. If that's not working, I don't know what to tell you. I love Streamlabs. I like the Streamlabs on the desktop side, as long as they're not doing updates that mess up my computer. But sometimes things just don't work. The next update, everything might work. Every now and then roll out an update and it starts breaking things.
So one thing when I do the solo streams, or when Dee and I do our streams in the studio, we use Streamlabs OBS for that. And one thing that I have here at home is, like, sometimes I'll forget and I'll be logged in through Twitch, because that's where I do all my experimentation. So if I'm in there and I'm trying to figure out like a different feature or something like that, or I'm testing graphics, whatever, then I'll do it through my Twitch account, and I'll stream on YouTube and I'll forget that I'm logged into my Twitch account. So like the chat won't work, and like some of the different, subscriber alerts that pop up and things like that, they won't work because I'm logged into Twitch, but I'm actually streaming over into YouTube. So the accounts aren't connected, which is basically not letting them go through the API to pull that information out of YouTube when somebody subscribes, or, whatever alert it is that you are trying to show.
Yeah, I've had a lot of things not work in Streamlabs, and then they'll make an update, and then everything that should have worked just starts working. And then 6 months later, they do an update and it stops working again.
Super chat.
Here's something else that happens with Streamlabs. When they do roll out an update, if you find that things aren't working right, you just go into your settings. Sometimes their updates will just turn off features. Like you might have something set to on, or you might have a certain source, a certain audio source. It'll just change it. It'll turn it off sometimes, or change the source. So anytime there's a big update that rolls out and things don't work, you have to go through all of your settings to make sure it's all set correctly.
Yes. Boom. Next up, we have, let's see here. Sinitya 2.0. They upload daily content. They're doing it on an iPad. It's a gaming channel. They're doing it just for fun. So how can I get views and subscribers? Awesome. Please check out my channel. So I'm going to skip to the next question. So Yamanai PMC says that they do gaming funny moments, and my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Says, hey Nick, great channel. I've been posting funny moment videos for about a year already, but my view count has been pretty small, and I've been struggling to get new subscribers. Is there anything I can do maybe to change or create new content? So the very first thing you got to do, the very first step, if you're having trouble growing your channel, the very first step that you need to do is make sure that you are reading and understanding your YouTube analytics. Because if you are not going into if you're not taking the time to go into your YouTube analytics to read and understand how people are responding to your content, you can't expect to just by default move forward and start, generating, things that work, when you're not actually paying attention to how things are working for the people that YouTube are showing your content to. So that's step one, dig into your analytics, and that's going to give you all of the answers that you are looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Sith Lord of YouTube, Roberto Blake.
Good morning, YouTube.
What is going on, Roberto, man? I hope that you are doing well. How are things?
You know what? I am doing really good the last couple of days. The last couple of days have, the last week was rough. The last week was rough. The last couple of days, the world has been rough, but I've gotten so much support from my community. I've got some things off my chest, and I've been doing better mental health maintenance, so I'm good. Thank you for asking. Hope everyone else is
good,
doing
man.
Good.
Yeah, doing well also. Yeah, no complaints. Nobody listens anyway, right? So no sense in complaining. It's what the old man used to say.
That's right. As he burned my arms with cigarettes.
Oh, we're going dark today. That would okay.
Just kidding. That never happened.
Yeah, no. One would hope not, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Also, one thing for the other, the person in the chat who just asked about their gaming stuff and everything like that. You know, everyone talks about PewDiePie being the biggest gamer in YouTube, but he only does so much games anymore. You could get a lot by reacting to, commentating on, or memeing Vanos Gaming, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, or Dan TTM, because by views, they actually all are getting more video views on average than PewDiePie right now.
Interesting. That was good timing there.
That was good timing.
Yeah, we should have. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have.
But yeah, you guys were talking about like the Google relationship with YouTube.
Yes.
There's a lot. There's a lot with that. By the way, am I coming in loud enough?
You sound great to me.
I think you can come up a little bit. And
he sounds better than you do, D. Like he's louder than you are.
Really?
Yeah.
So I can hear you really loud, but he's really soft in mine.
Wow. Okay.
I just want to say really quick, somebody they're firing up salsa music right outside. So if you hear it, let me know and I'll bump out for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not salsa. I don't know what it is.
But so YouTube and Google have always had this really interesting relationship, and the thing is, they index YouTube videos for search anyway, and it comes up in the main results, but then it has its own video results. And if you guys look, you'll find that most of your external traffic to YouTube is coming from Google a lot of the times. A lot of your search traffic is coming from Google. And everyone underestimates that, and they only think about that with YouTube. It's the same thing with keywords and tags. Keyword and tags isn't all about YouTube. Sometimes it's about ranking in Google. And the thing is, there are videos that I have that used to rank #1 in YouTube that don't rank #1 anymore in YouTube, but they still rank #1 in Google.
#1 in Google.
And
yeah,
that's
I did a whole presentation on this here at the Chiang Mai SEO conference that they have here every year. Yeah. And one of the other things that's awesome about that is not only do they show up there and you can possibly rank like #1 in Google where you don't rank very well in YouTube, but not only can you rank, but you can rank fast. You know, like I have screenshots of videos that have ranked in like 10 minutes and they're still there. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Super effective.
Yeah. So I'm going to get into that a bit, but I do want to answer something from Sir Wolf TV. It's like, I don't want to promote other people's content. I want to promote my own. Then you have to make exceptional content, because I'll be very realistic with you, and this is a no offense thing. Why am I going to watch your content if I can watch Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, Dan TDM? I'm saying that realistically from the perspective of a viewer. I've never watched your content. I've never heard of them. And the thing is, none of my friends are going to tell me about your YouTube channel. They're going to tell me about the cool thing that person did. So I'm saying that in terms of giving you an in, because nobody knows who you are and nobody's talking about you, and you don't stand out in a remarkable way just yet, unless you're going to do something remarkable. Like, because here's the thing. If you want to be mad successful on YouTube, in general, the pathway to it a lot of times is going to be you have to do something that is so interesting or different or has a story element or is special to the YouTube community in some way to where everybody's going to talk about you. Here's the thing that people don't realize, that even without the going viral part and the blowing up part, there would have been a reason to talk about like Janelle and the van life thing, because it's like, hey, even in van life YouTube, one of the things I explained when I had like friends who were like, well, I've been doing van life content or whatever. I'm like, you guys are a couple and you guys are in your 30s. This is a 20-something-year-old doing it who is single and a female. That's a story that's very different. And because I'm like, who are all the van life people? All the van life
D,
people.
really quick. Sorry, Roberto. D, really quick. There's some people in the chat saying they are hearing the music.
Yeah, I'm hearing it too.
I've turned my mic down and I'm actually going to shut the windows here. So
okay.
I'm gonna leave for just a second and I'll let you know when I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But like whether it's Janelle with van life, where it's like, oh, hey, this girl lives alone in her van with a snake. That's a story that you could sit there and you could tell at lunch if you're a high schooler. Like that is a story. Like, so the majority of YouTube's audience is young, And you have to remember, well, what would be something worth talking about at a high school lunch table? What would be something that middle schoolers will talk about at the bus stop if you're going to go into gaming? If you're going to go into gaming. And again, there's people who don't know who PewDiePie is. There's people who don't watch them. But there's also people who, like I said, watch Jacksepticeye, watch Markiplier, watch all these things. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to do that. But if you aren't going to do that, the next thing you have to do is look at what is a popular gaming franchise that everyone's talking about right now, where you could do something special to where I can't get that somewhere else. Because the problem with gaming, and this is why people think I hate YouTube gamers, but I keep saying it's the issue I have is the lack of originality, and it's because
and effort. I'm going to toss effort into that as well, because you also see there are some people that put tons of effort in their gaming content, and those are typically the people that end up standing out. And then there's a huge, overwhelming majority of people that put zero effort whatsoever, and they just, they'll just stream, every day and not really put any effort into, trying to,
it's because it's
trying to actually get the ball rolling.
It's the lowest barrier to entry thing. A lot of times I'll say that here's where people don't grow on YouTube. You cannot really grow on YouTube making lazy content. I'm just going to say it, making lazy content. And so here's why some people, you're like, well, what about all these people who just talk to the camera? A lot of people who do content that just talk to the camera, they're successful, are either charismatic, entertaining, they tell stories, or the thing that they do that would be hard to do that's not lazy is they've lived a life that has given them either great stories or has given them great experience and expertise. Primary example, me, D, and Nick, we're all over 30. We've all had decades of doing things. There's things that we have done, software we have used for 10, 15, some of us even 20 years. That makes it very hard to compete with us if we talk about that, because we're speaking from experience. Or you look at people like Graham Stephan. He got to be a millionaire at 26 through hard work and effort with no college experience, no inheritance, and being a kid from divorce and not growing up with his parents with money. That's a story, but it also gives him expertise because he can talk about things because he has results. When a lot of people become gamers on YouTube, they're not an expert at a game, and they haven't won tournaments, and they haven't done things that make them massively successful. I think my
just a casual gamer.
Yeah, hang on. Let me see what's going on here.
I might have to refresh.
Okay.
Well, he's refreshing. I just want to say I absolutely love Mexico, but Mexicans they love their music. They love their part. Like, we're in a pandemic. We're like a very strict quarantine, and like they just pulled up out in front of the Airbnb.
It was StreamYard. It wasn't me.
Opened the truck doors. It's this big, like, 4-door truck. Opened up the truck doors, and they're having like a mini party right out here on the street.
Nice.
And that's just like normal. Yeah, in the middle of a quarantine. They don't care. They're like dancing right out here in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like what I was saying was, like, you can't make lazy content. You have to either be very good at something, tell stories, be charismatic. You have to have something. Or the thing is, look at the biggest YouTube channels. I'm not saying you have to do this. If you're a small YouTuber, don't be intimidated by this. But I'm saying you have to start thinking about, what am I going to be known for? And what am I going to do that's so cool that everybody in this group of people is going to talk about me? And the thing with gaming is, because it's accessible, because there's so many free games, there's so many cheap games, and because it's such a youth-driven thing and it's part of the culture and everything like that, and because everyone wants to be a YouTuber now, it's everybody's dream to be a YouTuber now. Anybody can do it, but not everybody can do it, if that makes sense. It's like, so you have to think about...
That makes tons of sense.
If you want to, there's only so many ways to stand out. Be radically different to the point of being like absurd and flashy and obnoxious, which some people do, or be so talented as to not be ignored, or be able to add something new to the conversation that wasn't being said that is interesting and intriguing. And if you look at the biggest, most successful YouTubers, you have to realize that from a personality standpoint, some of them are just obnoxious and flamboyant and like insane, and they create spectacle and drama because then we can't ignore them. We can't look away from the train wreck that they are, right? That's just true. And then some of them are so good, so talented, so have such a level of ability and skill that to not recognize it would be a crime. And then there are people that just win on their personality because they're wonderful and charming or attractive, and they could walk into a room and light it up because that's who they are. And so if you look at who's winning on YouTube, everything I just said is pretty much true. Or they talk about things that everybody else wants to hear. Give the people what they want. So like,
and one more thing to add on to that too is some of those people, to add on to the thing about walking into a room and lighting it up, there's also the other side of that too, which is like the introvert that could walk into a room and light it up, but they just don't have it inside of themselves to do it. But when they're at home and they're just in front of their camera, they can really turn that on and do the same exact thing, but they're doing it virtually instead of actually walking into a room because they're comfortable letting themselves out of the bag, so to speak, in that environment.
Yeah, absolutely. They might not be able to do that with everybody's eyes on them on the outside, but they can do it with everybody's eyes on them on the internet. Like, and that's a very specific personality or type of skill. And again, some people also, the other thing is some people win because they represent something or they stand for something or they are the representative of their group or their issue. And so there's that as well. So I'll give you an example in the gaming niche. In the gaming niche, you have my friend Bijou Mike Lucas. He plays games related to anime, and he often plays a lot of dating sim games. Nobody specializes in a lot of that type of content, and there's not a lot of people who tie anime culture directly to gaming culture and the overlap and intersectionality there. He capitalized on that gap in the market, and that's how, within the last few years, he's over 2 million subscribers. And the thing is, in 2016, he was a quote-unquote nobody in 2016 with 2,000 subscribers. And he'd been doing it for like a year, like within 18 months, of doing it differently, focusing on SEO, focusing on an underserved market. He got to 1 million, like same time it took him to get to 2,000. He was very much able to get to 1 million and then 2 million. And it's because he was over a period of time able to make his crappy videos and get through things and put his personality out there and learn YouTube. Then he started optimizing his content to make it discoverable because nobody knew who he was. So he focused on discovery all the way up to like 100,000 plus. Then he started also doing what I talked about with pattern recognition. And he and I did an interview about this. He used a lot of the stuff that I talk about in my channel, that you guys talk about in your channels. He used pattern recognition and said, I'm going to do what Roberto keeps talking about being ruthless with content, and I'm going to eliminate everything that's not getting the views that I want until I grow my channel to the place that I want it to. Then I'll go back because I have an audience that's invested in me, and I can make a few videos that don't do as well that I really want to make for the hardcore fans. And boom, step 4 profit.
Step 4 profit. Go to the bank.
So like that's how Mike killed it in gaming. That's how Bijou Mike killed it in gaming. And we don't all think that everyone should start a YouTube channel with the goal of being rich and everything like that, but it's nice if you can do something you like, make enough money off of that hobby to either keep doing the hobby or to mean that you don't have to work a job that you dislike, and that's fine.
Or be around people that you dislike.
Or be around people that you dislike,
Yes.
That's why I left corporate. So, so that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I know I went long on that, but I also know,
it's good,
Nick, that you have like a huge audience that a lot of them are gamers or they're beginning rookie YouTubers. So that's the only reason I wanted to go into that. But let's talk about the SEO
it's good, man.
thing.
I love it. It's appreciated. It's good.
Yeah, let's talk about the SEO thing.
Super chat.
Okay, really quick. Super chat came in. Insane McLean in the membrane says, I don't really have a whole room that I can use for a studio at the moment. Is there an easy way to set up and take down in like a bedroom or a kitchen, even a bathroom? So first, it's awesome if you can have just like a dedicated area. But if you can't, then a couple of things that you might want to think about is to get a tripod and make sure that you keep that tripod to where the height and everything is the same, and just kind of put it away and then bring it back out, and then you fold it back out, and then it's good to go. Your camera's already on it instead of taking your camera off every time. So you can put that up quickly. The next thing is if you can get like, I'm not sure what lights you're using, but if you can get like clamp work lights to where you can clamp them on like a closet door or something like that, then that's good because you can put something on the back of the closet to actually hang them from when they're not in use, so that you can have them clamped up at the top, and then they're shining on you when you need them, and then you can just unclamp them and then hang them on hooks in the back of the closet when you are not using them also, and then just close the doors and then you're good to go. So there'll be a little bit of setup time, but that's kind of like an easy workaround in order to be able to set up like a quick studio, a little pop-up studio in your bedroom or living room or whatever when you need it.
I don't know what your budget is, but Caleb from DSLR Shooter, he has 2 or 3 videos now on how to make a single light movable studio, basically, starting with a C-stand on wheels. Go check out the videos that he has on that if you need to come up with something to move around. And that, it would stay up. It's not something you would tear down, but you can easily move it and everything stays together. So you can move it from one part of your house to another part of your room or wherever you need it. It's really clever how he set those up.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Dick and Demunda, welcome to the channel membership. Just as a heads up, make sure that you check the community feed, the members only community feed. There's some free stuff in there for you. Also, next time you are on Facebook, look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. Make sure that you join that. That's where we live stream into. So make sure that you join that. There's also some free stuff in there for you. You can ask questions, that sort of thing. So make sure that next time you're on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. Fill out all the information on the way out, because that's how I verify that you are actually a member and not somebody that's just trying to get in. So let's get back on Google. Let's get back on Google and chapters and all of that, all that good stuff.
Yeah, they you got to remember that like Google and YouTube are not just search engines, they're answer engines, because we just ask questions. I mean, that's why your old channel used to be all our questions.
All our questions, right?
Are you ever going to go back to that channel at any point?
Man, you know what? I struggle with this so much. I've talked to Dee about it a bunch of times, and you know, we've talked about it. I think Dee's frozen. Is he frozen, or is he just super
frozen.
Still? I think he's frozen.
Oh, wait,
oh, there he is. He's moving now.
And
yeah,
by the way,
you were like,
StreamYard's having that issue. It's not you. So.
But yeah, we've had that conversation a bunch of times. Like, I loved making the content. I learned so much when I was making. I mean, I was learning everything at that time. I was learning about YouTube at that time. I was learning about all the different subjects I was talking about. So it was just like a big, you know, tank of learning. It was fantastic. And I also got to express more creativity in the editing and how I was putting everything together. So I really loved that content. I loved the channel. I would love to eventually relaunch it at some point. But I don't know, honestly, if I ever will, but it's always in the back of my brain just because I love that channel. And I think just conceptually, it's a cool channel all the way around there.
For that channel, at this point, you have the ability to hire a researcher and an editor, which is the 2 biggest parts of that channel in terms of a time suck, which means all you have to do is pick a topic you're passionate about, write the
spit
script.
it out and go.
Like
Here's the thing, though.
You write the script.
That's just churning the content out. Like, that entire process is what it is that I loved about that channel. So like learning the stuff that's part of the research, right? And then actually putting it together, like condensing all the stuff I was learning into easy to understand bits of content so that, you know, it would be easy to understand on the receiving end. And then putting the videos together, editing the videos so that I could do like fun and creative stuff with the content. Like that is, you know, that's the part that I actually enjoyed about it. So the win for me would be, you know, being able to do the entire process. And at this point in time, it's just not. Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
It's always there, and I'm always thinking about it. But you know, I probably, you know, in reality, I probably, you know, won't end up doing anything with it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Eventually, what I probably need to do for this, or use my other setup or something like that. Eventually, what I probably need to figure out or do for this is set up my my Shure microphone setup with my Rode Procaster, just like you, because people are talking about the microphone being low, but I have the gain cranked up to the max. I just think that but I also have like, I think, an extension cable for it.
You sound great on my end.
Roberto, you need a cloud lifter.
It's a USB mic. It's a USB mic.
Okay.
It's the Blue Yeti.
Okay.
But I got the gain up to the max, and I'm using the right pattern for it too and everything. That's why it sounds good, but some people are saying it's not loud enough or whatever. But anyway, the Google thing. So since Google and YouTube are these answer-based search engines, if you walk backwards from that, if you cared to, or if you already are just doing information-based content, chapters can be interesting, because if you, in every chapter, if you're kind of rephrasing a question or rephrasing a question in a tips video or what have you, both either verbally and or in the chapters, the way that you label them, that is extremely powerful when you think about how Google is going to clip that and do those snippets. It also tells us more about auto captioning and about how YouTube's systems work for that, for classification and for discovery and distribution. Because if you look at how Google operates, and this is how I've always grown my YouTube channels, is if you look about how Google operates, who owns YouTube, everything behind those systems, everything behind how they distribute and how they classify tells you what you need to be about YouTube. And so while everyone's obsessed about the YouTube algorithm, all they have to do is think about how search engines are classifying content. That's why I don't believe that so many people are throwing the baby out with the bathwater on keywords, because they want to take this one thing and one snippet from something YouTube said and just then go to the most extreme version of it. And then they also want to look at big YouTubers who are already famous not bothering with classification. It's like the classification for their content is their name. That's it. Like, that's it. That's all that it is. And so, and the thing is, for those people, because they're a famous big YouTuber, they're entirely reliant on user behavior for distribution, not classification. But when they go off topic or they do something their audience doesn't like, you can see how they pay for it. But then they don't have any ability to reach other people who would be down for that at that point, because they're interrupting a pattern. So the problem with going all in on user behavior as a populist YouTuber is that the only context is how people feel about you emotionally.
Right. And, you know, that's why it's also so important for people, like, as you're growing your YouTube channel, to keep these sorts of things in mind and think about, you know, like, what's my approach going to be? How can I make sure that I'm putting content out there to where it's going to help me on the discovery side, but then I'll also be able to lean on user behavior as well, to where you're kind of, you know, to where you're giving yourself the opportunity to tap into a little bit of everything instead of just putting all of your eggs in that basket of the user behavior, like Roberto was talking about.
Yeah.
Marla
Welcome
Martinez.
to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that next time you're on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP, and make sure you fill out all the information on the way in. Also, make sure you check the members only community tab here on YouTube as well, because there's some stuff in there for you also. Yeah, so my thing with the chapters, like, as a user, like, I think they're fantastic, because then I can just skip exactly to, you know, whatever it is that I care about, and I'm actually interested to, over time, see how it ends up impacting content creators who are paying attention to how people are responding to their content, because it's going to put so much emphasis on the things that your audience really cares about. Like, you know, like I was telling Dee before you came on, Roberto, it's like, you know, if you're doing review videos to where you're showing product reviews, then you'll be able to quickly identify over, you know, like a handful of videos, you'll be able to identify the people that are coming in and watching your content. Like, what are they all skipping to? What do they care about? And then you can focus your entire video on the stuff that your audience actually cares about, instead of putting in all the things that you think they care about. So, you know, it's going to be great for, you know, like that type of thing, you know, as well, just to where you can make better content for the people that are coming in and caring about, you know, what it is that you are, or not caring about what it is that you're doing, but just, you know, you can give them what it is that they care about the most.
Yeah, what do they want?
Yeah.
Right. Just double down on all of that.
Yeah. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Tell me what you want, what you really.
So I'm going to go ahead and hop into the forum here and pull out, you know, some more questions here out of the forum. So the next question that we have here is from Black Shadow. Black Shadow has a gaming channel, and the goal of the channel is to cover gaming content, eventually get into the gaming industry. That's cool. So the question is it possible to live stream from mobile Streamlabs using the internal audio? I think so. D?
If you want to stream your mobile game, I recommend, with internal audio, if you have an Android with Android 10 installed, Prism Live Studio will give you clean audio streaming and clean audio internal recording on the Android side. It doesn't work for iOS. On Streamlabs, the way it works is they capture the audio coming out of your speaker. So the audio comes out of your speaker right back into the microphone. So you could do it if you've got a desktop and you want to use different adapters to run your audio in and out differently, but just using your phone by itself, it's not going to give you clean audio out with Streamlabs. Android 10, and you can do that in Prism using their screen share feature.
So this next question, I'm actually interested to see how you guys handle this, because I think that we all, like we all take different approaches to this. Who's Your Daddy Food and Travel says that I make it a point to respond to all my comments on my videos. I have a really small channel, so it's not that hard. How do you handle that as you grow? And why doesn't YouTube notify you of every new comment or subscriber? I want to know who is subscribed to my channel, but I don't know how to check it. I make it a point to respond to all my comments on my videos. So this is a pretty long question, so we're just going to skip to the, like as your channel grows, how do you handle that sort of thing? So, so Roberto, when it comes to your comments, what's your approach on comments?
Well, whenever I'm not doing anything else, or I'm just laying around, lounging around in bed, because I might be watching a TV show but not fully invested in it. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, or I might be rewatching a movie or an old show or something like that. Whenever I'm either winding down to go to bed or on a weekend and I'm just chilling, so I can respond to a few then, because it's like, all right, I'm just gonna all right, in the middle of the thing that I don't care about, or if it's like Hulu and an ad's playing, it's like, okay, I can just do this for 2 or 3 minutes and everything like that. Be a human being, tell 20 people thank you. That's not hard. So right. I do it then. Other than that, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, 15 minutes in the evening. If I actually leave the house when the world's not burning down and I'm in line somewhere.
Literally?
Yeah, literally burning down, right?
Then if I'm in line somewhere, I was like, I mean, that's how I've done it for the last few years. And I get an absurd amount of comments every day and everything like that. I get thousands of comments in a month. And again, I just do the best I can. But there are videos where if you look at some of my videos that have 500, 600 comments, if you look at some of my videos, not my most recent one as of today, my one where I'm talking about what's happening in the world right now, just because I can't reply to all those comments as much as I want to just yet, just because emotionally that's still just a little rough. And some of them are very intense and I want to be thoughtful. And some of them are very long comments. Sure. So it's that one I've had to say thank you to as many people on the light thank you comments and stuff like that. But the heavy ones, I've acknowledged them with hearts, and I just kind of beyond that. Now on regular how-to question stuff, I use some of the stuff here that TubeBuddy and YouTube gives us. I filter and then I just go through and answer questions. And I prioritize questions more than anything. You can also filter in the desktop by who is subscribed to you. As to your issue of YouTube telling people who subscribes to you, it does actually in YouTube Studio at this point. It tells you who subscribed to you, but it shouldn't, and it doesn't give you a notification for all of that, because I mean you'll just get flooded. Because
it's gonna get wanting that feature. Right now, as you're just getting moving, it's exciting every subscriber that you get, but that quickly is going to turn into a this is just too much.
That gets old quick. I'll tell you.
It does. It's funny. Even money notifications get old too. Just any notification that you get. So it does. So it's you go from hey, I want to get notified every time you get a sale or something. And then, after a while you get, it's okay, I gotta turn this off.
Once you turn the machine on, it's just, because guess what? It's an interruption of your life. It's an interruption of your actual life. It feels cute with there are things, and I'm not saying this to be arrogant or anything or conceit or anything like that, but there's a lot of stuff. It's cute when you are just getting started, and it's a novelty when you're just getting started. And when you're a small YouTuber, enjoy that, because there's a point where other things will happen in your life because you've gotten opportunities and you've gotten these things, and those things are absorbing your life, or you get into, you're making so much content, and then all these little things that you think are cute are an interruption to the thing that you want or need to be doing, or now that you're finally living your best life, everything's an interruption. And that's just some perspective. That's just some perspective that it's why sometimes it feels like when we say certain things, some of you might feel like it's out of touch, but that's the same thing you felt when you were a kid and you were listening to your parents. Then you became a teenager and you're like, I'm starting to get this. Then you became an adult and you're like, oh, I really get it now. I understand. And all this is so we all kind of go through that. We all kind of go through this oh, I would do it so much differently, or I would feel differently, or that feels spoiled or a certain kind of way. Then when it's your turn, you go, oh, no, now I understand. So hopefully there'll be some of you that get to 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, and you'll feel a little bit closer to what our lived experiences are on this platform. I mean, D, you're starting to feel it now. You're almost at 100,000 now.
Yeah, he's getting close, man. He's
90,
like what, 2,500 away?
Yeah, something
23.
like that. Creeping on 20.
I'm
creeping
looking
on
every day.
98.
Just in case you get that spike out of nowhere, I'm looking every day. Yeah.
Yeah. So I answered every single comment until about 50,000 subscribers, and then I just lost control. I was doing a lot of things in my videos, like trying to drive comments, and around 50,000 subscribers, I can't do it. So now I kind of take Roberto's approach. I spend a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there. I'm sitting on the toilet. I'm not engaged while I'm watching something on Netflix. I'm sitting in an Uber.
Real quick, I just want to highlight something.
Yeah.
So as he just mentioned on the toilet, so if you get a comment from D, if you get a reply, I just want you to think about that, you know, anytime that you get a reply from D.
Yeah, the music is
Hashtag
the one.
toilet squad. Hashtag toilet squad. I'll give you guys.
So really quick, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring in another special guest today, the one, the only, Andrew Can.
Welcome, Andrew. But I just want to say, if you guys can hear the music or not, they've just like tripled. All the windows are shut, and they just like crank the music on me. So if you guys can hear the music, let me know, and I'll have to bow out of here.
Hey, Andrew, what's up, man? How are you?
Not much. I love how I came in on D's toilet time, but you know, you got to come in when you can get in.
D's toilet time.
Get it when you can get it.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, got to get in when you can, right? That's good.
Yeah. So let me just finish saying this because I might have to turn off my mic. I just, whenever I can, I answer comments. I can't reply to everybody now, but I at least try to go through and heart them when I can. But I found, you know, I do most of them on my phone. However, I find that if I go over to the desktop, there's always comments showing there that aren't showing on my phone. So now I make it a point to kind of go back and forth to make sure I'm not missing any comments. And I'm always running behind. I'm always running behind on comments. But you'll get to the point. Just do the best you can. Do the best you can.
I've got an interesting update and story for you guys. So recently, Marquez, MKBHD, talked about his experience as being a black creator and what he thinks about it. And then he encouraged some people at the end of his video to not only subscribe to, but to watch and genuinely watch and engage with black creators on the platform. And I actually now can determine a spike that I can directly attribute to that.
And you got linked up there. I saw that.
Yeah, exactly. And I can actually, I've had a massive subscriber spike over the last 3 days, so I can confirm that, and I need to personally text him and thank him for that. And so I have a subscriber spike, but I did also get, more importantly, because he did tell them that if you do that and then you don't watch the content and don't engage with it, it actually hurts us in the algorithm. So I thank him for saying that, and I'm going to clip that part of his video for future videos. But I did get a view spike that is directly attributable to that, and people are engaging. But here's something that a lot of people don't know that I do. On my YouTube homepage, the thing I asked you for some advice about, Nick, is if you are not subscribed to me, the featured video that if you just go to my YouTube channel that you see is my personal story of how I went from broke to 100K a year. And it's a very almost not edited video, aside from a few screenshots in the beginning to eliminate some skepticism, to show revenue numbers, like from PayPal. And then it's a 27-minute video. And so that is something that will, if watched, will definitely make sure that YouTube recommends my content to other people. And so I saw from...
That music's coming through, D.
Okay, I'm turning it down.
So from the, I want to say 7,000 or so new subscribers I got as a result of what Marquez did, shouting some of us out there and linking us in his description. I got like out of nowhere, pretty much, or rather I know where it came from. This video normally gets views, but it went from on June 3rd with its steady, because it's an older video of mine, but it's the video that's probably really relevant of understanding how I got where I am and who I am as a person. It went from, its usual 163 average views a day, because in its peak, it got like 160,000 views back then. Then on June 4th, because of like what Marquez did, and it's still accumulating its data, but boom, another 4,000 views, another 3.8, and then it's going to keep going because it is the featured video that if you are not subscribed to me already, it's the first thing that you're confronted with of, well, let me learn about Roberto Blake. And like,
Nice.
and that means that it even, over.
D, turn your mic down more if you don't mind.
So I saw that in my
It's
YouTube
off.
dashboard, and I saw that in my YouTube
Really?
analytics, and I realized, aha. So people are watching that on top of my latest video. So looking at a spike in a video and then trying to figure out, well, where did something come from or whatever. So now, as a result, by the way, almost every other video that I've done about making money online, which ties kind of to that same topic, is having some small spikes in traffic of that being now recommending other videos to people. So I just wanted to show or explain to you guys a little bit, like little things like the video that people see when the first video, or even the lineup of videos people see when they come to your channel, actually matters if you were ever to get a shout out. If you were ever to get a shout out, a newsreel, any type of attention, guess what? What people
So on
see,
this note, Roberto, Sophie Procura, I don't know if you're familiar with her channel or not, and Oliver, because Oliver goes to like Vid Summit, he goes to all the conferences. You probably, you probably know him. But basically, like their thing is, they got a 3 video shout out from Shane Dawson. And during that process, basically, they went from hardly any subscribers at all to, I think it was like 400,000 over the course of, just like a week or maybe 2 weeks or something like that. But in their situation, because they would come in and they would get like channel reviews and stuff like that. And they had that initial setup, like you're talking about, to where, like there was no clarity of what the channel was about. They just had that one row of videos going across the top of their recent uploads. And like, that was pretty much it. And they went through that process, after those reviews, of getting their channel ready for an event like that. And they ended up getting that event. What I mean? They got a 3 video shout out from Shane Dawson in that situation.
That's huge.
And because they were prepared, just like you're talking about, they were able to capitalize on all of that traffic and all of that activity around their channel. Because, one thing that people don't think about is, when you have a large volume of traffic hitting a video on your YouTube channel, it doesn't have to just be going to your channel. It can be a large volume of traffic just hitting a video. There's a lot of overflow that can happen from that video to where, they're clicking on your channel name to find out more about you or your content or what it is that you're doing on the channel. And being prepared for that is so important. And if you're not, and you don't have everything set up properly, you are just missing the boat. Not only are you missing the boat, but you could be costing yourself, and this is no exaggeration whatsoever, you could be costing yourself the biggest opportunity that you've ever gotten in your entire life to like really make a massive change in your life. So from that event, from that Shane Dawson shout out, since then she's gotten like record, like a record deal. She's gotten, they were in negotiations. I don't know if it actually went through or not, or if they ended up on independent.
It didn't hurt.
Yeah, right. But they also ended up on America's Got Talent or whatever it's called, which she ended up getting like really far in, and like, like all of these additional opportunities came out of it because they were prepared, when that situation happened. So, like what Roberto was saying, take it to heart. Make sure that you are going through the process of having everything set up properly, because it can literally make or break a humongous opportunity in the event that you do get shouted out. Like Jacksepticeye got shouted out from PewDiePie. Like in situations like that, all it takes is that one creator that just happens to know, because you don't know who's watching. There was somebody in here earlier, I don't know if you're still in the chat, that had just recently had Mr. Beast come in and leave a comment on one of their videos. And, in that situation, you never know when somebody like Mr. Beast or one of these other large creators is going to be like, hey, this person made a video about it. Go check them out and leave some comments in there. Yeah. That moment could be something that would literally change your entire life. And you have to make sure that you are, that you're able to absorb that situation and put yourself, position yourself correctly by being prepared for it.
My good friend
guys.
Sarah Dici had a plan for going viral on the back of that Casey Neistat video that she made back in 2016. She had a plan for going viral. She even knew that if she blew up, her first email, her first call is Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. And then she got in the Ask Gary V show pretty much right away on the back of that. and that helped her as well. And that was a great relationship that she's built that's been beneficial to her for many years, because he was also the first person to do a podcast interview for her when she launched her podcast. See, this is the kind of thing that you have to make a plan. And she had her content before she made the Casey video that she was like, I wanted to make this Casey video because if I blow up, what I want is attention for my documentary series. And so that she already had in place. So she had a plan. A lot of y'all want luck. You don't have a plan for even getting it when it happens and what to do with it.
I just want to say
is so important.
Yeah.
I'm going to step out because they just keep increasing the music out here. I don't know. I'm going to come
They're
back.
like, oh, he's live. Street party.
D,
yeah.
If you guys
oh, he shut the windows. Let's go bigger.
D, if you stay down there, you just got to build a hacienda, man, and be done with it. Build a hacienda soundproof it.
Right.
I'm in Mexico. I'm going to hire a cartel to protect the block. That's what I'm going to do. There'll be no parties on my block.
Cartel. Nimminati cartel.
That's how we roll. Anyway, I just want to say I'm going to be lurking in the chat, but I'm going to kill the stream. If the music stops, I'm going to come back in. But if I don't come back in, thanks for having me. Bro, it was awesome seeing you. Roberto, great to see you.
Nice
Andrew,
to see you
awesome
too.
to see
Be
you.
safe.
Andrew, even if it was just for a moment, it was great to see you.
It was great to see you.
Your happy morning face. Everybody in the chat, I'll be in your chat. I'll catch you guys when the music stops.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, D.
So I actually wanted to bring up a question that's from the chat just to so it's from Eric Waite Whiskey Studies, and he says, aren't you guys encouraging people to spam larger channels with the shout out thing? So I think,
not at all, because that's not how it works. Yeah, that's not how it works. So basically how that whole thing goes down is those people will end up noticing you through either just the comments in general, or one thing that people don't think about is YouTubers watch YouTube. Right? Like people that are on YouTube also watch YouTube videos. So because of that, there's a chance that they're going to run across your content. If you're making quality content that, that people enjoy, YouTube is showing it to other people on the platform. One of those people could be, one of those people that would be like, wow, this is great. I'm going to give them a shout out. Everybody that's on the screen right now, D included, sometimes you just run across content. It's suggested to you. Like I've given so many mentions on my YouTube channel to other people just because I run across them. I'm like, wow, this is really good stuff. And this would be a great fit for the people that watch my videos. So I'm going to make sure that I mention them in the next video. I've done that even for people on Instagram. I'm like, hey, if you go over to Instagram, you got to make sure that you follow, this person. I don't know why the name's escaping me. It's Mike, does the little short tutorials on Instagram. Mike, he works for Simplecast. Mike Murphy. That's it, Mike Murphy.
There you
go. Yeah, so I'm like, you got to check out Mike Murphy, next time you're on Instagram, because, he has so many tutorials, but he doesn't get a lot of activity, but the value that he has is just massive. But, like situations like that,
like
I'm
how
always
I plug
giving those when I
Leela
get the chance.
I plug Leela from YouTube. I mean, I think she's a better editor than me by far, even though she's a much smaller YouTuber. She's an Adobe rock star and everything like that. She's very skilled at at what she does and everything like that. And I mean, to be fair to myself, I just prioritize minimalism and editing fast. But when I want to do something cool, I watch her stuff in her tutorials. So why wouldn't I plug it? See, the thing is, you also have to understand, big YouTubers, we don't even watch each other's content for the most part. One, we are afraid of accidentally copying each other or ripping each other off, or we also get a little oh, I don't want to watch my friend do something really dope and then start feeling insecure or jealous about it. That's a real thing. We talk about this. And so
another thing too is the side of another thing with that too is the side of just doing stuff. In some cases, or in a lot of cases, maybe I would venture to say, instead of spending tons of time consuming stuff, making stuff is typically the choice. Yeah. And that's why the channels end up doing well, because, the effort's spent on, actually creating instead of being on the consumer side as well.
I tell people, you want to stop being a small YouTuber, stop watching big YouTubers and stop watching YouTube. Stop watching YouTube and start doing it. That's a real thing. So again, but we watch small YouTubers, and we hang out with a lot of our friends that do YouTube are often smaller YouTubers than us. And people think there's a hierarchy and a pecking order. That's only for a handful of people. Most of the YouTube community over 100,000 is not like that. The fans make like it's like that though, and small YouTubers who don't bother to build relationships make it like it's like that's a thing and everything like that. But we don't actually behave that way, and we don't actually care. I mean, you can see the evidence of that by how many of us go onto Viper's stream. Like we don't care, and we don't want anything from anybody. We don't need to go and chase somebody else's clout. We don't need and think I didn't ask Marquez to do any of that, you know, like when he shouted me, none of us as black creators asked Marquez to do any of that. A lot of us didn't even know that he would make a video. We might have hoped that he would, but we didn't even know he would. We weren't even sure how conflicted he might be about all of this and about his position. So it was a surprise and a delight to all of us that he did that, and that he was generous with his platform, and they encouraged that. So we don't. I'm never here. I mean, I'm the guy who wants to make a video and explain to you why shout outs don't work. Right. I'm just highlighting to you that the only reason they work and they is if there's a lot of circumstances and a lot of things in place that would make sense there. So I mean, and that's why, because again, I was pointing out to you guys that it's like out of all the videos on my channel, this is the video that got the spike on the back of that, but it's a good thing because it's also the video where I'm like humanizing my story the most. And that's why it's the video that when you go to my channel, if you're not a subscriber, I have that video up.
Smart. So one thing I guess I wanted to mention is YouTube always talks about like setting yourself up, even for if you ever get like suggested or you go on browse. I think that, you know, one of the things we don't take into consider for suggested is a shout out. Like that is peer-to-peer suggestion, right? Mm-hmm. So like a lot of times what all three of us or pretty much all of us try to do in the space is we try to set it up for that new subscriber, which is something you were mentioning, Roberto, because so many times I see creators going, my channel page is for me. And it's like, if you do that, it's great that you like it set up. But if I have to work to find the content, most creators are going to see the one video, they'll check the channel and they'll go, and leave. So I think that's why it's so important.
Because there's so many channels, especially around all the different topics that, you know, everybody's interested in. There's so many different channels that if one content creator makes it so much easier for people to find the content that they care about, that's where people are going to gravitate, because it makes it easy for people to find what they care about. And then as soon as people have to start exerting more energy to find the content that they actually want to watch, then right there, you're going to start losing people because there's other people that are making it easy for them. And everybody is going to lean towards the one that's making it easy, because who wants to spend time, their precious time, the only thing that really matters, who wants to spend that looking for a piece of content to watch? So yeah, like it's so important. That's another reason also that it's important to make sure that you're linking to other content when, you know, to other relevant content in the videos that people are watching, and that you're thinking through, if somebody watched this video, what's the next thing that would make a ton of sense for them to watch next, or what's a thing that they would care about next? That's why that's so important, because all you're doing in that process, like we can put fancy names on stuff like watch time traps and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, all you're doing is you're just making it easy for people on your channel. You're making it easy for them to find what it is that they care about, and to continue watching more of the content on your channel. That's all it is, you know, you take that and then you supply a fun name to it. But at the end of the day, all it is you're just making it easy for people to find what it is that they care about.
Yeah.
And the better you get at that, the better your channel will do.
So I do want to ask another question, and this comes from Similar. Why do you think, especially on YouTube, I hear an echo. Is that me?
A little bit.
Possibly. It could be. I
have headphones.
Now try. And these are shorts, by the way, folks. Woo. I know all those people that you see on you know, getting shouted out on Reddit that are like newscasters, you know, doing stuff. But yeah, these are shorts, not boxers. All right, go ahead.
Let's just be happy you're wearing pants. So
did the echo go away though when I moved away? Because it could just be feedback.
It might just be, if people are saying those legs, you distracted me with your legs. But
don't make me put on a show, guys. I'll do it.
So basically,
don't threaten me with a good time, Nick.
Get the dollars out, Roberto. Let's do this. Yeah.
So, you know, we were talking, I guess, a little bit about getting that initial shout out. What is some advice you guys both have? And I have some opinions and thoughts. How do you, like, within the content itself, direct people one to another. I say you should be your own content shepherd, where you shouldn't leave it to chance. You should give them a clear path. So how would you help people watching become those kind of content shepherds, where they like see that one piece and then you know how to get them to another and another? Because I think that's the difference between like a smaller mindset on the YouTube platform versus, okay, I'm prepared for this. Here's where you should go next. How do we get them from that initial click to where they should go next?
That's an excellent question. So first, I want to take that. I want to put something else on that as well. It's not just a shout out. Like you could have a video that you publish tomorrow that just gets put all over YouTube because people just love that video. So it's not just a shout out. It's just a large influx of traffic happening on your YouTube channel out of nowhere, or just a lot of traffic over time is also important, because, you know, even if you don't have that viral spike happen, it's also, you know, through a shout out or a video that performs exceptionally well, there's still a lot of people over time that are running through your YouTube channel. So because of that, you know, setting all this stuff and preparing for that as well is just as important as making sure that you're preparing for the big event as well. But when you prepare for it once, you're preparing for everything. So you're preparing for that, for that over time process, and you're preparing for, a big event, whatever that event happens to be. You're in a publication, you get a shout out from, a big YouTuber or podcaster or something like that. Or you have content that, ends up taking off. But basically what you want to do is you simply think about the next step that somebody would take, and then you lead them into that content. So like, if you're doing like entertainment content, for example, just like they do on Netflix and just like they've done on TV for, forever, is, you can have teasers into what it is that's coming, or have cliffhangers into, the next episode that's going to be coming out. If you're doing how-to type content, then in that situation, you can do it to where you have the next step, the next logical step that somebody would take when they're watching your content. So for example, if you're doing something on, let me think off the top of my head, if you're doing something on, let's say, like weight loss, then in that situation, you think of the process that somebody would go through with weight loss. So if somebody's watching a video on, like how to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, then in that situation, you would want to consider mentioning another video that you have on your channel that they might watch next, which could be something about, if you mentioned in the video about how to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, one of the things that you talked about a lot in that video was diet, then in that situation, the next video that you could hand off to would be a video about, how to create the perfect diet to accelerate your weight loss. Workshop that title a bit, but you get the idea. Yeah. So that, at the end of the video, you could be like, hey, and as you notice, I talked a lot about the diet. So I made this video right here actually about, how to, make sure that you're eating the right foods when you're losing weight. So, you can click on that video now. And another thing you want to do as well is you want to remove your brain from the process also. And you want to lean into YouTube's algorithm. It's smarter than we are. So you want to set it up like Andrew's talking about, to where you are trying to hand off to other pieces of content, but you don't know how many of those viewers have already seen that content either. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're using YouTube's algorithm and putting a best for viewer on your end screen as well, so that YouTube can also try to identify what they think that, or what it thinks that your audience would be likely to watch next. In addition to that, you also have the cards at your disposal. You have your pinned comment at your disposal as well. And you can try to solidify those by linking all of those to a specific video or topic of videos. And then you also have a series playlist as well, where you can drive people into that playlist. So then you're creating those relationships between content, and you're also telling YouTube that it's a series, which is increasing their likelihood of suggesting the content and so on.
So one little thing here, because someone in the comments brought it up, someone says, so only big YouTubers can do shout outs because they won't lose anything and they wouldn't miss out on the subscribers they would otherwise get. No, that's absolutely wrong.
That doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's no shortage or no supply chain of subscribers, and all of you need to stop thinking about that and think of them like human beings. And so I'm going to be super ridiculously harsh here. None of you are allowed to look at your subscriber count and your subscriber growth numbers, and all of you are, I'm going to dare all of you, or command all of you as your emperor, as your Lord Emperor, I command you now to delete the Social Blade app from all of your devices. Like, no, I'm serious. I love Social Blade, and it's no
Social Blade hangs out in here sometimes. Yeah. If they happen to be listening to this in the background, they're probably like, wait, no what?
No shade,
what
no
did he
tea.
just say? Yeah, you're going to get an email later.
No shade, no
These
tea,
are not
Social
the stats
Blade.
you're looking for.
Yes, like no shade, no tea, Social Blade, but for like the mental health of a lot of these people for the next 90 days, delete the Social Blade app for your phone. Thank me later, because a lot of you don't have the mental discipline and wherewithal to not let subscriber numbers get into your head and start to dictate what you do and what you don't do. And you're thinking of YouTube with this weird quasi scarcity. And some of you are too emotionally in your feelings about being a small YouTuber and you want to blow up too much. Stop approaching YouTube like some desperate damn thing and just make fucking dope content. Sorry about the curse words there, Nick. I got ahead of myself in my head. I said it the way it was in my head.
I need a beep in here somewhere. Yeah,
Sorry
I need to add a beep button for Roberto.
I feel like it should just.
I think
be
that's the first.
family
I think that's the first F-bomb that's ever been dropped on this show, Roberto.
well,
so high
that's
five
my
and fist bump. Yeah, for breaking that one. Yeah. Go ahead though. Continue the thought. Yeah.
But no, it's that a lot of you just need to stop being emotionally invested in how big of a YouTuber you are and instead be emotionally invested in how good your content actually is. Because me, the reason I grew on YouTube and got 10,000 in my first year is because all I kept doing was agonizing not over my growth, but agonizing over how much I hated watching the playback of my content and thinking I could have done better than that. And looking at what I could have done better and then doing it better. And sometimes listen to positive feedback in the comments about how I should maybe look at my audio, or like, hey, you know, this stuff is looking a little soft. Can you sharpen it up? Or like in terms of the lens, because I had kind of a crappy camera. I looked at, and it's not about the gear, by the way, but it's like the point is I obsessed over everything I could do to make it a better viewing experience because I wasn't happy watching my own content. And so I started making myself into a YouTuber that I could actually watch.
So what you're saying is take it to where it's not about you, but it's about the viewer.
About the viewer experience.
Oh,
yeah.
perish
So
the thought.
focus. Yeah. How can I make the best piece of content possible that the people that are coming into this video are going to enjoy and get tons of value out of? And the better you get at that, then the better your videos are going to do, because you're making a product that people actually enjoy, instead of like, oh, I got to make sure that I'm generating X amount of subscribers from it.
Yeah, and Social Blade is great, by the way. Again, I just want to reiterate that. It's that the problem is you guys are too obsessed with your stats, and you're too obsessed with comparing. You're like, I'm sorry, trying to get views and subs on YouTube is just cheap dopamine. It's just cheap dopamine. You're making YouTube your drug of choice, and you're making your numbers your drug of choice, and you need to cut that out. And I promise you that when you don't look at it anymore, you'll feel a lot better if you just focus on looking at your audio, your video, your performance, maybe your comments, and you do that, you'll feel a lot better than chasing some damn numbers. I swear to you.
I just wanted to bring up a point. I think they're focusing on the wrong stats, right? Like, I think that out of everything in YouTube, I'll ask people like, well, what are you looking at? They're like, well, my subscriber count just completely plateaued. And I'm like, okay, but how's your viewership? How are these things? They're like, oh, it's blowing up. And I'm like, well, then that gives you a signal to look at something there, because like they look at the most public one, right? So they look at a stat that they think matters the most. I hear this all the time. People only cares about subscribers. And one of their logic and reasoning is, well, I need 1,000 subscribers to get in the partner program. I need 10,000 to unlock everything. And I think that there is a slight importance to subscriber, but I think people are over analyzing its importance, because
you get 95% of the features in YouTube the day that you sign up, as long as you verify with your phone. And
exactly.
You want to make money. Like, I'll tell you all the ways to make money online, because they're all better than YouTube ad revenue.
Exactly.
My entire channel
so
is that.
Really quick, Eric Wait Whiskey Study says, hey guys, he put all of our names in there, but he says, don't people get preoccupied with subscriber numbers partly because you all constantly make videos about how to get more subscribers? It's actually in reverse. We make the videos about how to get more subscribers because that's what people care about. So that's what we use to actually bring people in and share that information with them, because it is a part of YouTube. Like, that's a part of the thing. So that's why. Because people already are wanting to do that. And that's why we make that content, to actually bring people in and share with them how to do that.
You could argue we're going where people are wanting it, right? So like, if we go in how to get more subscribers, but what we're really teaching them is how to plan their content, how to plan everything, then we have successfully become click worthy, right? Which there's a difference between clickbait and click worthy, right? And I think that if we know people want to learn how to get more subscribers, I know if I put how to earn more views on a video for the TubeBuddy channel, it's going to exponentially outperform
this live
anything
stream
else
right now. Live stream right now. When putting the title together for this live stream, I could have put join us live now, right? I could have put that. But instead, I put get more YouTube views and subscribers, and then some other stuff on there. I can't see the full thing here in StreamYard. But the reason that I put that is because that's what people respond to. That's what content creators care about, and we're trying to reach content creators with this content. So because of that, we package this in a way so that it resonates with the people that we are trying to reach with the content.
Everybody who made videos in the financial niche or in the money-making online niche that made videos about the stimulus, do you realize that if I wanted views and if I wanted to be viral the last 3 months, I would have just made a video every week about the stimulus?
Yeah.
I would have went viral for no reason, and it's not for no reason. I would like, oh, how to go viral for no reason. Oh, I'll just talk about the stimulus because millions of Americans who have no idea who the hell Roberto Blake is care about the stimulus, and I'm a big like boom.
And this is where my fun brain goes, because then you can be like, how about you make your own stimulus? Because Roberto could then shepherd them into the, here's how you can make passive income, which is just another form for you to not worry as much. And then that's how Roberto can realize a trend, go on it, say, here's content about the stimulus. But
or
let's
for
not
making
just
money online, if I put in big numbers on the thumbnail, 12,000 a month, because that's the amount for the stimulus check right now. People would just in their brain correlate those things. I might get more clicks out of it. For another example, I'm about to do a video in the coming days here because VH Photo Video sent me the new Sony camera, the perfect YouTube camera. So this is the perfect YouTube camera with...
How is that, by the way?
You don't need a lens. Every video I've seen on it is great, but like...
Oh, you haven't messed with it yet?
Not yet, but it's like you don't need a lens. I'm gonna like fake rebox this and then unbox it, but like... so I'll fake the unboxing video, but like this is, you don't need a lens. It fits in your pocket and it does everything that you need. And it finally has the flip out screen.
Thank gosh.
To the
which
side.
is so good for Sony.
And it has a microphone input jack, which you need. It just doesn't have a thing for monitoring your own audio. It's not USB Type-C, which I'm like, why the hell? But version 2 will probably be that. So again, finally has a red dot on there for record button, has a light so that you know you're recording right there.
Nice.
You don't have to go out and buy a lens. So yes, this is an $800 camera, but even if you try to buy something for $500, by the time you buy a good lens that competes with this, it's going to be the same price and it's going to be bulky and it's going to be heavy. So this fits in your pocket, fits in your purse, fits anywhere, and you require...
Does that have clean HDMI? Do you know?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
It does, and they're working on something where you won't even need an accessory to stream.
Kind of like Canon just put out with
they're
the...
about to go there in software. So again, this will be the ultimate... This is the Sony ZV-1, Z for Z, ZV-1. So like this is going to be the ultimate YouTube camera for beginners, and I'm going to do a video about that, about why this is the perfect YouTube camera for beginners, because it really is. And I'm going to break down the features, break down the whole thing. But here's the thing. I'm jumping on one. All my friends have already made videos about this, but I can make more than one video. And the thing is, my video is evergreen because it's going to be about the best camera for YouTube. Instead of me just labeling it a review of this camera, it's going to be why this camera is the best camera for YouTube. Budget-wise, it's also going to be a setup and a tease for the Creator Gear Guide channel as well. And so I'll be doing comprehensive multiple videos on there. I'll be making a user guide. So you see how I'm setting up. I'm even setting myself up for a shout out. You see what I'm saying? But I'm hopping on. This product doesn't even, you can't even get this product bought and shipped until June 11th. So you see, I'm working in favor of timing of, okay, I've got between now and June 11th to make as much content and then release it incrementally around the peak of this full reviews. And by the way, everyone put out a thing on this, but no one used it for like a couple of days. I'll be able to put out 1 week review, 2 week review on the Gear Guide channel and stuff like that. And so I win because everybody does. Whenever someone gets a camera like this and it's the new hot camera, they usually do a one or done and they do 2 videos about it and that's it. I'll be able to go over top 5 features. I'll be able to go who it's for. I'll be able to do comparison videos with all the other Sony cameras. I can compare it to the other 2 budget cameras I bought back there. I bought an M50 and I bought an SL3. So, all right, is it more worthwhile to buy a DSLR or buy this? Boom. See what I'm saying? But that's thoughtful. That's what's the difference between, that's the difference between people who make it on this platform, people who might quote unquote just go viral and big with a video, and people who can plan intentionally to say, I have a pathway to giving value to a specific audience.
One thing I wanted to say too is it's thoughtful for the viewer. Go ahead, Nick.
Just really quick, Andrew, I just wanted to say what's up to Daniel Patel, just because I haven't said hey. I've seen him in the chat for a while. I just wanted to say hey. You're free to hop on anytime you want. We're going to be on for just a little bit longer, Daniel. If you do want to come on, the door's open.
Because I'm going over to
also,
video influencers.
Mike Phillips mentioned the software for the Canon M50. I'm actually using that right now. So I'm not using the Cam Link anymore. For this particular camera. So my girlfriend, she's been, we've been playing Fortnite a lot, and she's like really getting into it. So she's going to start on Twitch. So I'll be using it for one of the Sony cameras to, for that, and to actually, okay. So here's a funny problem. We'll talk about that later, but yeah. Okay. So go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm using that right now, Mike.
Basically, all I was saying is Roberto's being thoughtful in the way that he's thinking of what viewers would want or need with his initial, video on that camera, which I think is something a lot of pieces of content can do if you think about it not as, oh, I need to make this so my channel will perform, but how will my audience react to this, and how can I make them interested / care about it? And I think that's something that needs to be like really said and thought about too.
And how can I deliver something awesome? Like how can I make something to where people are going to be like, oh man, that's exactly what I wanted to know about this camera, or wow, this is exactly, this is exactly the information that I was looking for. All these other people are just doing the general reviews, but now Roberto is popping out, videos every week on, oh, this is after a week, this is after 2 weeks, where people can get some, usage insights and stuff like that too. So yeah, it's thinking of your audience and the type of things that they would really dig. So yeah, so with my girlfriend, she's going to be on Twitch. I've been looking around for because I've never streamed from a PlayStation to anywhere. So I've been looking around for how to do that with a camera and all that. There's hardly any information on how to actually do it. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try, I don't know if it's going to work yet, but in order to do that, one of the things that you can do is use remote play for PlayStation. So, everybody's saying to just do remote play, but it doesn't mirror to your TV, unfortunately, at least that I'm aware of yet. So because of that, I'm going to have to use one of these to HDMI out of the PlayStation into here, into the computer, and then HDMI out of the computer back into the TV to mirror that so that we can stream. But I haven't found anybody using that actual solution before. So if that works, I'm going to make a video about it. I'll throw it on Tuber Tools or something on that channel.
Look at Alpha Gaming.
I looked over there. Yeah, I couldn't find anything for him either.
My only concern on that would be the limitation of the Cam Link only having 30 frames per second. I know in gaming 60 frames is kind of the standard, so that'd be my only.
The 4K has 60.
The 4K, the boxy one, that one does.
I thought the Cam Link was limited to 30 frames per second. I might be wrong.
It is for the USB little stick, but the boxy one.
Well, there's the 4K stick, and then there's the normal stick. And I think the 4K stick also has 60.
I thought it was limited to. I might be wrong.
Okay, it might be. I could be wrong. Yeah.
And there's also a pro. There's also a pro version that has that's a little box. It fits in your pocket. So that
we have the graphics cards too.
You can even put an audio mixer into that.
Oh, you were right, Nick. I was wrong.
So
my apologies.
Even for the Creator Gear Guide channel, since it's about creators and streamers are creators, don't be surprised if as I get into Twitch that I start making some tutorials.
So it can do 1080 to 60 frames per second, but not 4K. So that was where I was confused.
Okay. Yeah, we wouldn't be streaming 4K out of here anyway.
Hey, I don't know what you want to do, Nick.
I know. He's like, hey, man. Yeah. Yeah, with our internet here, we couldn't stream 4K even if we wanted to. Yeah. So you guys want to tackle a question real quick? Because I'm gonna shut this down here in just a few. Before we go, you guys want to answer one more question before we bail?
At 1 p.m. I'm gonna be over on the Video Influencers channel. If you guys want to check that out, me, Benji, Sean, Donna from Psych IRL. We're gonna be talking about whether or not creators how creators should post responsibly during a crisis. That's the topic.
Nice. What are some of your thoughts on that? We won't even go into a question. What are some of your thoughts on that?
We can still answer a question after. All right, so my thoughts on that, the short version of my thoughts on that are actually the video that I made on Twitter that got over 100,000 views and also got featured by KLATV on the news in LA. A friend actually told me about that, and you saw it too. So but my thoughts on that were that, look, right now, there are people like me, for example, who struggle with their mental health, and they cannot constantly, minute after minute, hour after hour, only consume trauma and horror and pain without going to a dark place that's almost impossible to crawl out of. So We can't have only that in our feed. We need good things. We need positive content. We need encouragement. We need community.
And normal.
And
Need
we
some
need
normal
something-
stuff too
We need
to anchor
something
to.
more. We need something more normal. It's not that it should be looked at as we want to ignore what's happening in the issue. It's that we do need an escape from it and relief from it, because it's not sustainable to be only in that, and it's not sustainable to be angry or sad all the time. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's bad for you to be angry or sad all the time. And if you are in this and you have nothing else, and this is all there is, then you are going to find yourself in a traumatic, abusive cycle that you will have long-term damaging effects for you. So you cannot go
On that
there.
note, I would like to also mention, like on that note, like I think that one thing that people forget about, or that you just don't think about, like when you're consuming all of this stuff, like you're seeing it in your Facebook feed, you're seeing it and you're interacting on Reddit, you're seeing it in YouTube videos when you open up your home feed. Every single video that you watch, I actually mentioned this in a post from Brian G. Johnson today, but every single video that you watch, every single comment that you reply to, every single article that you click on and read, every image that you look at, every video that you see on Twitter of you know, all these crazy things that are happening, all of that is having an impact on your brain and how you think and how you're experiencing the day. And it's also creating, like, you know, all of these different things in your brain in terms of just, you know, emotion and, you know, dread and, you know, judgment and, you know, all these other things as well. And it's really important, at least for me. I'm not going to preach to everybody, you know, else, but for me, it's really important for me to make sure that I'm really policing what is going on, like what's going in, because,
I call
you
it
know, it
protecting your
impacts
peace.
everything.
I call
you know?
it protecting your peace. I
Yeah,
call
it is.
protecting
It's
your peace.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
So like you cannot sit there, because it's gonna literally paralyze and cripple you. And if you're a content creator,
Corona did that for me for a little bit. I spent, like, right when all that was starting to happen, or right when it was all starting to happen, like I like it just wore me down, because I was like on Reddit and I'm like trying to figure out like what's going on, how do I stay safe, and
Well, you know,
like
the
how do
first
I
couple of weeks
how do
it
I
was
go
like
to the
that for
grocery
me.
store, bring food
Yeah.
into the house, like how do I, you know, do all this stuff. And I was constantly keeping up with you know, like, well, before it even hit the States, you know, it was like popular over here because of the Chinese tourism and all that. So like I was like watching what was happening in China, and that was freaking me out and thinking like, oh, there's so many of them coming here. And I was like freaking out about that. And then like, as you know, I was in the States and it started happening there. And I'm just like constantly, just like I'm sure a lot of other people, I'm sitting there, you know, consuming all this stuff. And it got me mentally to a point I was exhausted. Like I was exhausted and I didn't even know why,
think they
right?
call
And then
that
I'm like,
fear
oh, I know I'm
fatigue. I
exhausted.
think
I'm
it
consuming
is.
all this,
yeah, they
all
call
this
it
stuff.
fear fatigue.
It is.
Like,
It's fear fatigue, and it's also just like, you know, like that dread that I was talking about. It's like, you know, you just have all this stuff in your head to where it just like weighs you down to where it just takes all of that energy, and it's, yeah, man, it's rough.
Yeah.
And that can directly correlate to how your content comes out too, which is why like a lot of people, especially now, I've been hearing, at least in like TubeBuddy and on my channel, I'm sure you guys have heard similar echoes. It's like there's just so much going on in the world. I just don't even want to create right now.
Yeah.
And then for the people who do want to create, or their audience wants them to, a lot of them were like, and this is why I made my video that you guys could watch over on my channel. I made a longer video that was a message to all content creators. It's actually performing very well. It's the best performing video out of the last 10 that I've posted by far. It's got a lot of love, and a lot of creators have shared it, but it's because it talks to one of our big issues, which is, here are all these things I went through. Here are all the things that are happening in the world, and we don't know how to talk about any of them, or we don't know if we have permission to talk about any of them. If you're a content creator and you don't feel educated enough and you don't feel confident enough to talk about something, here's the thing. One, you can start educating yourself. But two, if you don't think that you're a good advocate or ambassador for talking about that subject matter, you don't have to, and you don't have to take the chance that you're going to mess it up. But you should also understand that even with these sensitive issues, a lot of us are very forgiving, and we're going to defend your ability to say that, and we're going to educate you if you mess up. We're not going to cancel you. And the thing is, you shouldn't be afraid of that right now. I understand why you are, and if you are, especially if this is your livelihood or your career, or it can affect your real life job or career. But the thing is, if you don't feel that you can do something justice, you don't have to speak up in that way, but you don't have to be silent either, in the sense that you can create that escape hatch for people who need it because they need a break from the horror. The people who are out there on the front lines protesting, you think they want to watch this when they come home? They were just living it. They don't.
Right.
They need something before they go to bed that can keep them sane. So you have to think about that. You have to think about the fact that you could use, I told people right now, post, but maybe don't promote. You can post your content to your platform of choice, but maybe don't promote it outside of that platform. And what you do is, in the places where we're having conversations, take the time to educate yourself, take the time to elevate experts, take the time to elevate the experiences of other people, take the time to also just be a comfort to your community. So use your communication platforms to have conversations right now, not to promote content. We have content platforms and then we have communication platforms. I make videos and I give lectures about this on stage all the time, that here's where we make content and here's where we have conversations. Use conversation platforms to have conversations that need to take place. And the thing is, if you aren't equipped to add to those conversations, elevate people who are, and just be kind to people overall. And beyond that, post your content, but be thoughtful about the content that you post right now. And be as sensitive as you are able to. You don't have to address what's going on, but you do have to be aware of it. And you have to act accordingly. You can't act as if it's not happening, but you don't have to necessarily bring it up. And you don't have to, and the thing is, if someone comes at you sideways about it, it's really simple. Just be truthful. I'm not educated about that. I understand what's happening. My heart goes out to people, but I'm not educated about that. And I don't want to create misinformation or put out fake news. So I'm not talking about it. Here are people who are, and you should listen to them. Because no one can fault you for saying, I'm not educated about this, or it's not my experience, or it's not my story to tell. Here's someone who is. If that's where you're at, then just be honest and direct about that, and don't let anyone bully you. And if they do, get me, because I'd love to see them try. I'd love to see them try right now, especially right now. I'd love to see them try.
That's been my mindset, especially
Andrew,
on like
anything
Twitter.
to add? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, on my like Twitter and everything, and even on my personal channel, I've been asked, why don't you speak out about this? And I just was straight up, I don't have enough experience or know enough about this. So what I will do is use what platforms I do have to share people who are going through the experience, who understand it. And like, that's the best I can do, as well as donate money as well and link there. Like, if you want to be active, there are ways. But I was like we were saying, Roberto, I was right in that camp. And like, it's a hard place to be, because I've had more comments than I thought I would on it, but that also shows how you can also like underestimate yourself and how people think. Cause you're talking about that normal. I know some people watch TubeBuddy every week, similar to how every people are here watching this live stream every week. And as creators, I think we can forget that. Right. So I think what you said, especially like what I've been doing, is pushing forward to people who do know more than me, because sometimes you need to just listen and learn. And I think even as, people will call us experts, I think that's what we do sometimes. And I think that's a forgotten thing. Michelangelo, who was a master artist at 70 something, said, I'm still learning. Right. And he was like, he's a master at the craft. So I think that I'm still learning is something that is important, especially as a creator.
I'm still educating myself about issues and about the Black experience and Black history, because there are people who have experiences that I haven't. A lot of us don't even talk to each other sometimes about our experiences, and people don't know that. I think people sometimes think that the Black community all gets together and we all air our experiences or our grievances, or that's the same for all of us, and it's not. And so there's this, sometimes people look to us to know more than we do, but even with what we do know, it's exhausting having the same conversations over and over and over and over, because we live it every day and other people don't, and now they're just waking up to that. It's like, it's already painful, but then we're taking responsibility for educating people. And the thing is, we shouldn't have to, and we know that, but we don't really have a choice in the matter. And that is also a compound level of exhausting. But we don't want to turn away anybody who wants to be educated either. And so it's just, you make the most of what you can. You do the best you can with what you have where you are, you make lemons in the lemonade, as they say. Like, you just do what you can, as my friend Casey would say. So like, and And he did a tremendous job in the message that he brought out and the way he used his platform. And I'm so upset that 4 years ago, he got so much crap for when he wanted to speak up and when he had something to say. You know, you can say, well, it's how he said it, all you want and everything like that. But everything he said 4 years ago ultimately played out. And here we are. And so, and now, yes, he did a much better job, someone could argue, about delivering the message he wanted to and somewhat removing himself from it. But the thing is, he was speaking truth then and he's speaking truth now. And I, for one, appreciate it. So
on my end, I'm not even participating in most of the conversations. Like, this is the most I've participated, like in with this or coronavirus, like either of them. Like, this is the most I participated in any of it. And it's just because there's so many people covering everything that, like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's covered. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody, there's nobody that I can reach that isn't already reached with the information and what's going on. Right. So because of that, I'm just like,
value to,
I'm opting out. Right. I'm that normal. And like, that's where I'm staying. You know what I mean? Like, come to me to get the normal. And then on the other stuff, I'm just opting out because you can get it elsewhere.
And I'm good with that because I need that. I don't even want to need to consume this over and over and over and over again. And so if you can't add value there, it doesn't mean that you can't add value in another way. It doesn't mean that you, and again, Andrew brought it up, sometimes, and it's not about silence being complicity. I know people want to say that. I understand where they're coming from. But the thing is, sometimes it's better, as they say, to be silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. I'd rather someone be silent than spread fake news. I'd rather someone be silent than then become a distraction from what's happening. You know, there are influencers out there that are now making themselves a spectacle, and then the news has to talk about them and what they did instead of something more important and instead of someone more deserving. And that's, so again, I'm fine on some level with thoughtful silence. You know, silence out of respect or thoughtfulness is not the same thing as being complicit and not caring. Okay. And the thing is, a lot of people do a lot of good and move in silence because they have humility and they don't want to distract from voices that should be heard. And so that's another way you can take responsibility, is saying, I'm not going to do that. And by the way, entertaining people, delighting people, giving people comfort, that's not a distraction. That's a release. Understand and respect the difference. If you're going to be in this, do not be militant and do not alienate people. And I have to say that. I have to be the one to say that. Do not be militant. Do not cancel well-intentioned people for making mistakes, because I'll take a well-intentioned bungler any day versus a vicious idiot. All right?
And on that note, I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the stream. I want to thank Roberto, Andrew, D. I think you're still in the chat right now. You know, you guys, thank you for coming on. Massive appreciation for you guys coming on the stream today. Everybody that hung out and watched the stream, I hope you learned something and you got some value out of, you know, what it is that we talked about here today, you know, about YouTube and, you know, the last part as well. And everybody have an awesome rest of your week. And that awesome thing, man, it's just in my brain today, Roberto. I don't know what you did. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it keeps popping up. But yeah, everybody have an awesome, you know, weekend, and, you know, keep crushing on YouTube, and we will see you next time.